counting other building materials. Wang Yin sighed softly. Since each red brick costs 1 point, with his current income, he probably wouldn't save enough for a long time. So he decided to put this plan aside for now and focus on developing himself first. To increase his points, the only options now are expanding his land plots, discovering new high-yield crops, or digging up rare medicinal herbs that are several years old. After some thought, he realized that with only 7 plots of land, it was a bit tight. Wang Yin decided to upgrade his land to 10 plots first to boost crop production. Upgrading from 7 to 10 plots costs 7,800 points, which is a large sum. For crops, Wang Yin plans to unlock 2 items in the shop first, the spirit sunflower and the sunlight fruit, since he currently has no other options. The spirit sunflower and sunlight fruit are unlock items for the fox tribe and the sky elf tribe, respectively. Since he doesn't understand their specific functions, Wang Yin hasn't paid much attention to them before. Now he wants to see if these seeds can bring him any surprises. The spirit sunflower costs 300 points, while the sunlight fruit costs 1,300 points, a difference of 1,000 points. He plans to plant both and observe the results. These 2 crops also have different growing times. The spirit sunflower takes 1 day, while the sunlight fruit needs 6 days. It seems he will have to wait a few days to see the results. Having planned his next steps, Wang Yin now considers earning some extra points by digging for medicinal herbs. However, with the current situation, the snow covering the walls is deep, about half a palm, making it very difficult to find useful herbs. Plus, he has daily expenses like buying seasonings and soap, which makes him feel quite troubled. Why does it feel so hard to buy a house and make money in this strange world? What is the point of his crossing if all he does is worry about these things? Sighing in frustration, Wang Yin complained that these days, he really had nothing to do except go hunting. It was understandable, as he spent his days wandering the mountains and caves with little beast girls, sometimes bothering a sleepy little creature. Let's go? We're going hunting. This time, Wang Yin was leading Squeaky, the little mouse girl. Not that he really wanted her to hunt with him. Squeaky has a special talent called sharp eyes, meaning she has the best eyesight in her family. With her, they could spot tricky mountain caves, maybe even find hibernating animals inside. Squeaky happily nodded. Even though their cave was big enough, she wanted to see the sky outside. She had been cooped up for over a month and was eager to go out. When she heard she could go with Wang Yin, she was more than willing. Squeaky put on a cotton coat tailored for her by Jippy. Besides the thick leather and cotton coat, she also wore cotton gloves, a scarf, and snow boots, basically wrapping herself up like a little rice dumpling, worried about getting cold. Let's go? Time to hunt. Little brother 1. Little brother 2. When big sister comes back victorious, I'll bring back some good loot. Her pre-hunt speech made her sound like a general about to go to war. Before she could finish her little pep talk in front of her 2 brothers, Wang Yin grabbed her big round ear and pulled her away from the house, muttering, "Come on, stop showing off. Today, you have to find me some big game, or else you'll regret it." Squeaky. After a small detour, the 2 pushed aside the large stone covering the cave entrance and stepped outside. The weather was perfect, bright sunshine, a clear sky, and calm sea of clouds. A gentle breeze blew, causing Squeaky's reddish hair to sway lightly. She stretched lazily, took a deep breath of fresh air, and let out a long, satisfied call. "Uh-huh. So good." Wang Yin waved his hand impatiently. "Stop making noise. Hurry up and help me find something. If you do, I'll cook you a nice meal tonight." Yummy food. Squeaky's eyes sparkled with tiny stars. She quickly straightened up and said seriously, "I promise to complete the task." Wang Yin had underestimated the true value of his so-called sharp eyes. He originally thought this skill only meant having good eyesight, but who could have imagined it was sharp enough to rival an 8 times zoom lens? A cave nearly 800 meters away was spotted instantly by the little creature, Gigi. If she hadn't personally led him there, Wang Yin probably would have strained his eyes in vain trying to find it. After searching the whole afternoon with the help of the treasure-hunting mouse, Wang Yin's work became almost effortless. Even the fiercest beasts, weakened by hibernation, were no match for him now. His best achievement was taking down a black bear with a single swing of his axe, so cleanly that not even a drop of blood touched his clothes. His movements were becoming more and more skilled. By the end, He had gathered about 800 kilograms of meat. With that much, Wang Yin even thought about processing some to sell later. With no dangerous beasts around, Wang Yin was practically unbeatable in this area. The two of them worked until the sun was about to set. As the blessing of the sunlight protection gradually weakened, Zi's eyes darted around and finally spotted a hidden cave. Wang Yin, over there, do you see it? I bet there's something valuable inside. Come on, hurry. After all the treasures I found for you today, you owe me a can of beef. Looking at his full system storage, Wang Yin couldn't help but feel cheerful. It was only 100 points. Zi had done a great job today. He wouldn't just buy 1 can, but 3. She could eat all the beef she wanted tonight. He gently patted Zi on the head, which made her very happy. She rubbed against his hand twice, and Wang Yin readily agreed to her request. After opening this last mystery box, they planned to head back. The readers from his previous life might already guess who's about to appear next. The cave entrance was small, so it probably didn't house any large predators. Holding Zi, Wang Yin took a few cautious steps forward. As expected, there was indeed a living creature inside, but what they saw deeper in the cave was completely unexpected. At the end of the not-so-large cave was a pile of stored nuts, and lying on top of that small mound was a silver-haired beast girl, unconscious and motionless. This beast girl has long silver hair, similar to Yoli, and some scales on her body. Unlike Yoli, she has fewer scaled areas, and her scales are larger and diamond-shaped. She is covering her body not. Looking at her appearance, Wang Yin guesses she is also a snake-type beast girl like Yoli. The girl is lying deep inside a cave during the cold winter, and he instinctively thinks she is a refugee fleeing from danger, just like the Baigua family. He frowns slightly. The temperature is below -20 or 30 degrees. Lying in a cave in such cold weather, she might already be dead. But Wang Yin glances at her. Noticing her smooth belly still has faint movements and breath, she can still be saved. His family is very short of help right now. Wang Yin is willing to save anyone he can, as long as it's not too dangerous. Following the usual rescue steps, fire, warmth, feeding, he does it all in one go, but the results are minimal. When Wang Yin picks up the girl, she is icy cold, like a block of ice. It's clear how serious her hypothermia is. If he hadn't checked her nose for breath and felt a faint, weak breathing, he might have thought she was already dead. Squeaky is also very nervous, crouching on the ground, staring anxiously at the unconscious girl. Wang Yin, she might die, right? Wang Yin opens her mouth and feeds her a little warm meat soup. But after working hard, her body still feels cold, which makes his heart sink. He shakes his head, sighs softly, and puts down the can. If she doesn't wake up soon, then forget it. Following the principle of not wasting, Wang Yin wants to check her status bar to see what she is made of and whether he can get a new passive skill. But for some reason, no matter how much he stares, he can't open it. This makes him confused. This is the first time such a thing has happened. When the last spoonful of meat broth was finished, Wang Yin finally gave up hope. It seemed they arrived a bit late. The beast girl couldn't be saved anymore. Ah, what a pity. He let out a long sigh, feeling a bit regretful. Gently placing the girl down, he prepared to remove the beast hide covering her. Wang Yin thought to himself that he should find a place to bury her. Just as Wang Yin was about to handle the white-scaled beast girl's body, Squeak suddenly jumped up, pointing at the girl. His finger trembled slightly as he said, "She moved. Her eyelid twitched just now. It's working. It's working." Wang Yin looked down and examined her carefully. Sure enough, her eyelid was trembling. He pressed his thumb on her to stimulate her, regardless of whether it worked or not, just to try. Indeed, this method was effective. The girl's silver eyebrows furrowed slightly, and her eyelids trembled more intensely. Okay, she's alive. Wang Yin, use a bit more strength. As Wang Yin pressed harder, her heavy eyelids slowly lifted, like a window being gently opened, revealing a stunning view beneath. It was a pair of very strange eyes, more like a nebula than actual eyes. Deep blue space sparkled with countless points of light, wrapped in strands of starry threads, circling around a bright central star. The girl's eyes made Wang Yin feel mesmerized for a moment. But soon, he snapped out of it and shook his head vigorously. Reflected in the starry blue sea was Wang Yan's own face. Her pure white eyelashes fluttered gently as she lay quietly in Wang Yan's arms, not speaking, just staring at him. Wang Yan felt a little awkward under her gaze and took the initiative to speak. "Hello? Can you move now?" The girl seemed not to hear him. She continued to stare at him intently, not speaking, her expression unreadable. She raised her hand and gently pinched Wang Yan's cheek. Wang Yan didn't understand what she meant, so he had to push her hand away and let go. It seemed the girl had some issues with her head. As soon as Wang Yan released her, she didn't make any adjustment and simply fell onto the ground. She looked down at the beast hide wrapped around her, frowning slightly. Suddenly, with a tearing sound, the hide was easily ripped apart like plastic film. Then he turned over and kept staring at Wang Yan. Xiao Zhizhi also felt that this woman might have some issues. She moved closer to Wang Yan and quietly whispered, "Is this woman a fool?" Wang Yan didn't reply. Instead, he took another can of beef from the system warehouse, opened it, and roasted it over the fire. Then he handed it to the girl lying on the ground. The girl with silver scales and white hair seemed attracted by the smell. Her small nose twitched, and she stopped staring at Wang Yan. Her eyes shifted to the can in his hand, but she didn't speak. She just looked at it. Wang Yan reached out and handed her the can. She politely raised her hands to take it, then tilted her head back and started eating. Although this girl was very beautiful, with a good figure that was just right, her way of eating was a bit hard to watch. She tilted her head back, pouring the contents of the can into her mouth. The juice dripped from the corners of her mouth onto her soft silver hair, sliding over her tall body. It was quite a messy sight. Hungry, so she eats. Not too stupid, Wang Yan nodded lightly. Honestly, he didn't really want to keep this half-silly beast girl. She might have trouble working for him, and she'd probably just eat for free if he kept her. He thought that maybe her unconsciousness and shock earlier prevented him from checking her status. Now that she was awake, Wang Yan decided to try again. She might not be from the snake tribe. She could be from another reptilian race. Maybe she could bring him a new passive skill. He activated his mind, and this time, the system responded immediately. A panel appeared in front of Wang Yan. Furianana Walyuanala Dragon Age. Favorability, 0 talent. Ancient dragon species specialty. Endless breath, true dragon body, pure scales, dragon descendant, close combat mastery, flawless body, cooking incompetence. Wang Yan. Oh no, something's wrong. Ding, unlocked dragon bestiary, gained passive effect, dragon descendant. New items unlocked. The shop has been updated. The panel in front of him made Wang Yan's mind tingle with electricity, as if all his worries were eased. What was he just doing? The mother dragon was peacefully sleeping in the cave when he came over and pinched her to wake her up. He remembered that the mother dragon had been staring at him intensely, making his heart race and cold sweat break out on his back. Even by the standards of cultivation on Earth, a shape-shifting creature like her would usually be a powerful demon. She looked just like a normal person, but he knew her strength must be terrifying. Thinking about recent events, Wang Yan's memory finally connected everything like a thin thread, and everything made sense. This mother dragon was definitely the cause of the recent monster migration. Wang Yan couldn't think of anything else that would force hundreds of fierce beasts to move. Her appearance here explained why the migrating monsters had suddenly disappeared. In other words, aside from her young appearance, his actions earlier were like visiting a zoo to see tigers, then slapping a sleeping tiger and telling it to wake up and go back to sleep. System, if it had appeared earlier, he would have run away without hesitation. After eating a warm can of food, the dragon lady licked her lips as if savoring the taste. She then fixed her gaze on Wang Yan, making his heart skip a beat. Afraid to say anything, Wang Yan quickly used his last 500 points to buy more cans, giving them all to her. He cautiously took a step back, worried about provoking this fierce creature. It seemed to work well. The dragon lady appeared very interested in the cans, shifting her attention to them. She reached out and grabbed one, but didn't know how to eat it. She opened her mouth and bit through the metal can with her teeth, splattering juice everywhere, looking very fierce. Gulp. Wang Yan swallowed hard and slowly backed away, pulling on Squeaky's hand. Squeaky asked softly, "Wang Yan, she's so strange?" "Shoo, don't speak. Let's back away slowly. This thing isn't human. We've been fooled." Squeaky was stunned. What kind of creature isn't human? What could it be? Seeing Wang Yin with a serious face, Ji, who is not stupid, also sensed that something was wrong. She stopped talking and obediently followed Wang Yin as they slowly backed away. Fortunately, the mother dragon didn't pay attention to their movements. She was just greedily eating the canned beef that Wang Yin had given her. The two of them gradually moved to the edge of the cave. After Wang Yin repeatedly confirmed it was safe, he took a deep breath, picked up Ji, and ran away as fast as he could. His back was already soaked with cold sweat. He had never run so fast before. The creature that could scare away all fierce beasts in an ecosystem just by its presence was very powerful. Wang Yin knew his own strength well. He had no thought of fighting back. He just wanted to quickly take Ji back and seal the cave. After a few months, he definitely wouldn't come out again. There was good news too. The mother dragon gave Wang Yin a passive skill called Dragon Descendant, which greatly increased his physical strength, defense, and healing ability. After getting this skill, Wang Yin's strength doubled, and his running speed was much faster. He took big steps, leaving deep footprints in the snow with each step. Ji was bouncing on his shoulder and feeling dizzy. Now she understood how dangerous that woman was. Otherwise, she wouldn't let Wang Yin run away so easily. Who? What is that woman if she's not human? Ji asked. She's a fierce beast. She looks like a human, but she's a fierce beast. Wang Yin replied simply, making Ji understand. She obediently curled up on Wang Yin's shoulder. Now, they were running for their lives, trying not to cause him trouble. While they were fleeing, Wang Yin saw a figure at the edge of his vision. Just as he squinted to see clearly, Ji suddenly shouted from his shoulder, "Run! It's that woman again." Wang Yin's heart skipped a beat. He quickly stopped and changed direction to keep running. But the mother dragon was coming straight for him. How could she let him escape so easily? Suddenly, a sharp sound cut through the air above them. A bright silver figure shot toward them like a missile, crashing heavily in front of Wang Yin and Ji. Snow scattered into mist, revealing a woman whose hair and neck were covered in oil stains. Done. A cold feeling ran through Wang Yin's heart. It seemed this woman had her eyes on him. At this point, running away would probably be useless. He decided to give up on escaping, put down Squeak, took a deep breath, and slowly spoke. "Sorry for disturbing your rest. We thought you were a stranded refugee and did not mean to offend you. If you are still angry, I will try to make amends. I hope you can spare us." Since escape was impossible, he could only try to communicate. Wang Yin hoped the mother dragon could understand him. If he could calm her anger, paying a small price would be acceptable. However, the silver-white figure did not react at all. She tilted her head and kept staring at Wang Yin. Her expression showed no emotion, but the more she did this, the more nervous he felt. "Senior, could you give us a sign?" Wang Yin was determined to try talking again. Suddenly, the mother dragon spoke, uttering a single syllable, "Food." Wang Yin. He thought he had misheard and was momentarily stunned. "What did you say?" The mother dragon did not continue speaking. She raised her shining white finger, opened her mouth, and pointed to her own mouth. Is she asking for food? He remembered giving her a few cans of food earlier. She seemed to like eating them. Wang Yin wanted to confirm, so he asked, "Are you saying you want to eat something?" "Food." Now he understood. The mother dragon was asking for food. Wang Yin relaxed a little. Luckily, she had a need. As long as he fed her, she wouldn't need him. The food from earlier is gone. Can we discuss? Maybe exchanging for something else?" Wang Yin's points were already used up. He had spent them all on cans of food for her. Now, he couldn't produce more. With no other options, he thought about the prey he had hunted today. Maybe he could try to trade something. However, this mother dragon didn't seem interested in the blood food in front of her, not even glancing at it. Instead, her big eyes kept staring at Wang Yin, making him shiver with fear. "I'm really sorry. If you still want that canned food, it's gone now." The sky was gradually getting darker. Wang Yin couldn't understand what the mother dragon wanted. He couldn't give her the canned food now, and she just stared at him silently, which was very frustrating. He instinctively took a few steps back and awkwardly said, "If you still want the canned food, you can let us go first. Don't worry, I will come back and bring you more cans." "How about that?" She still didn't speak. Wang Yin gave up, realizing that the mother dragon probably couldn't communicate. The two sounds she made earlier were probably her limit. Seeing she didn't move, Wang Yin took a deep breath, grabbed her hand, and took a few more steps back. Since she didn't say anything, he thought she was agreeing. Then, "We'll go now, okay?" Wang Yin and the mother dragon exchanged glances, then stepped back a few more times. When she didn't chase after them, he gathered his courage and quickly retreated a few more steps. To his surprise, a heavy object suddenly grabbed his right leg and dragged him down, making it impossible to move forward. Startled, Wang Yin looked back. When he saw what was in front of him, he honestly felt like he was about to die. The small silver-haired mother dragon was hugging Wang Yan's right thigh with her hands, kneeling in the snow. She slowly lifted her head, blinking her big eyes that seemed to hide the starry sky, and stared at Wang Yin. "Food," she said. Wang Yin was stunned. What kind of situation was this? He was confused and didn't know what to do. "Let go, food. Can you let go first, please?" "Food." It was over. Wang Yan's face turned pale. He tried to pull her hand away, but it was as if it was made of iron, firm and unmoving. There was no way out. The sky was getting darker. Wang Yin had to try dragging her a little, but she refused to let go, which made him very annoyed. Wang Yin sighed helplessly. It seemed that this mother dragon wasn't very aggressive, but she was really difficult to deal with, making his scalp tingle. His points in his pocket were already spent, and the prey she didn't even look at. What could he do? Since she wasn't aggressive, Wang Yin felt a bit more confident. He told Chi-Chi to hold on to her ankles from behind, lifting her up first. It was getting late, and going home was the most important thing. Although some time was lost, they didn't encounter any danger on the way. Everything went smoothly. The three of them moved in this strange way until around 8 or 9 p.m., when they finally arrived home. Hua Yu wagged her cat tail, and her bright yellow cat eyes immediately saw the three people coming out of the cave. She stood up and waved to greet them. "You're back, Meow. You've waited so long that dinner has gone cold, Meow." Her words sounded a little bit like she was blaming them. Just as Hua Yu was about to urge them to hurry, she also noticed the woman hugging Wang Yan's leg. Zhuohua quickly looked her over and immediately sensed something was wrong. She calmed herself and asked Wang Yan in a serious voice. Seeing his most reliable wife at home, Wang Yan's tension eased a bit. He hurriedly told her everything about what happened that afternoon. Although other beast girls sounded like they were in a fog, Zhuohua could fully understand Wang Yan's words. As he spoke, her expression grew more serious. "Are you saying she is a dragon?" Wang Yan nodded firmly, and then sighed helplessly. "It seems she really likes the canned food I gave her. She's completely attached to me now. But it also seems she isn't very aggressive, so that's hard to say." Zhuohua looked serious. She had heard of dragons before, and had even seen one, but a humanoid dragon. She found that hard to understand. "Can't you get the canned food now?" Wang Yin spread his hands, looking hopeless. "If I could, I wouldn't have let her carry me all this way." Zhuohua also sighed and looked at the mother dragon. After a moment of thought, she took a ceramic bowl from the table, filled it with half a bowl of meat broth, and handed it over. Wei Lianua's gaze finally left Wang Yin and shifted to the small ceramic bowl in Zhuohua's hand. Her delicate nose twitched, then she released her grip and took the bowl from Zhuohua. She drank eagerly, taking large mouthfuls, though her eating still looked a bit awkward, and soup dripped down her chin. That worked. Seeing this, Wang Yin felt relieved and instinctively took a few steps back, distancing himself from this troublesome creature. Zhuohua nodded gently and discussed with Wang Yin. "Leave her here. I think it should be okay." Wang Yan's eyes widened, and he was about to refuse, but Zhuohua quickly explained, "Dragons like her are usually not people to mess with, even in the upper levels. But from what I see now, she doesn't seem aggressive and can even communicate a little. If we just feed her some food, I think we can keep her." Zhuohua's analysis suddenly made Wang Yin realize the truth. Yes, this mother dragon's mood is very stable. She didn't get angry when he pinched her or disturbed her sleep. She only approached him because she wanted to eat. Even if communication is difficult, keeping her at home wouldn't be a problem. Her presence can even scare away fierce beasts, and Wang Yin's only effort was providing some food. After some thought, Wang Yin was no longer so afraid. He decided to keep this little dragon girl. Raising her probably wouldn't be too troublesome. Finally, after pondering for a moment, Wang Yin responded to Zhuohua. "Yes, that's a good idea. Let's keep her." Then he turned to Wei Lianhua. After a while, she finished all the soup in the pot, sat on the ground, let out a burp, curled up, and fell asleep right there. Though, I guess we'll need to cook more food in the future. Wang Yan's mouth twitched slightly, feeling a bit speechless. The dragon girl is very easy to take care of, to the point that Wang Yan finds it hard to believe. Although she eats more in one meal than the whole family does, in an environment with plenty of food, it doesn't cause Wang Yan much trouble. Regarding the name, Wang Yan initially wanted to call her by her real name from her status bar. However, for some reason, as soon as he was about to say, Wei Lianhua, a chill ran down his back, and his hair stood on end. It felt like if he spoke that name, something very frightening might happen. There are quite a few issues. Wang Yan silently cursed. He realized that this name was somehow taboo, which made him even more curious about this dragon girl's background. Since he couldn't call her by her real name, Wang Yan decided to give her a simple, easy-to-remember nickname, Lu. He initially wanted to call her Wei, but quickly dismissed the idea because that name didn't seem lucky and might bring trouble, maybe even from Brother Jia. Lu brought Wang Yan a system item, a soul contract worth 3,500. He looked at the description. It allows the user to form a master-servant bond with a creature that has low intelligence and weaker strength than the user. It's similar to a Pokemon ball. When Wang Yan first saw this item, he immediately thought of how to use it. When Xiao Lingdang arrived riding a cloud whale, it left a deep impression on Wang Yan. He also wanted to raise a cloud whale, so he could ride it wherever he wanted. Speaking of cloud whales, Wang Yan often saw their tails emerge from the rolling clouds below him. It seemed like cloud whales were common in the Cloud Sea. Wang Yan thought that when he had the chance, he definitely wanted to catch one. Now, Wang Yan's strength has increased several times. Since he gained the passive ability of the Dragon Descendant, his body has been changing. His physique and muscles are becoming more defined, and even his black eyes are gradually turning a dark gold, with signs of developing vertical pupils. If Wang Yan faced that white-armed tiger now, with the added effects of super speed blood clotting and his Dragon Descendant ability, it's uncertain who would be the more ferocious beast. With his current strength, catching a smaller cloud whale in the Cloud Sea is definitely possible. However, although the Cloud Sea is called a sea, it's actually just a vast, intangible cloud layer. To catch a cloud whale, besides having enough strength, he also needs to figure out how to move through the Cloud Sea. Wang Yan can only keep this idea in mind for now and wait for a better opportunity later. After several days of growth, the two items, Mystic Sunflower and Sunlight Fruit, finally matured. Both products are priced as expected. The Mystic Sunflower, which costs 300 points to buy, yields 10 kilograms, with a selling price of 4 points per kilogram. This means a daily income of 40 points, which is a bit more than cotton. The Sunlight Fruit's yield is quite impressive. It takes 7 days to grow, and each plot produces 100 kilograms, selling at 7 points per kilogram. This results in a total of 700 points per plot, averaging 70 points per day, almost twice the income of the Mystic Sunflower. The Sunlight Fruit itself is very useful. It contains a lot of energy and tastes sweet and sour. Eating one raw can make a person feel full. Besides satisfying hunger, the fruit can be fermented into a type of fuel similar to chemical fuel. This fuel is efficient, clean, and renewable. In other words, planting a small oil field is not an exaggeration. Without hesitation, he planted all 7 available plots with Sunlight Fruit. With this, he is confident he can earn a lot of points in the coming days and improve his quality of life before spring. Winter has entered its last month, and the coldest days are ahead. Based on past experience, the way the little beast girls survive this period is by huddling together for warmth. They fill the house with dry wood, light a bonfire, and all gather around, shivering and biting their teeth to get through these days. There are no days like now, where they eat well, sleep, and then wake up to play. During these cold days, Wang Yan didn't bother going out to hunt for wild game. He sealed the cave entrance, but there wasn't much work to do at home. Occasionally, he could sneak off with Luo and Zhuohua for a quick game, but they couldn't do this all day long. That would be too much. So, during his free time, Wang Yan plans to do something big. He wants to build a large bathhouse with red bricks and cement. Although the little beast girls are very clean, washing with wooden basins isn't enough. It would be much better to fill a big pool with hot water so everyone can enjoy a good bath together. No, I didn't think about taking a bath with the little beast girls just out of curiosity. I acted quickly. Wang Yin immediately came up with a simple plan. He decided to build a small partition under the bath, then place some glowing charcoal to keep the water warm. He would just pour hot water in from outside, one pot at a time. The bath is square, 1.2 meters high and 3 meters wide. It's not too big or small, just right for a few little beast girls to fit comfortably. However, Wang Yin spent some time thinking about the inner wall. Since he didn't have tiles, he considered other options. In the end, he decided to line the inside with polished wooden boards, so it wouldn't be too uncomfortable to sit in. After everyone worked together, the bath was finally finished. Wang Yin surrounded it with a wooden fence and left the top open. The little beast girls couldn't wait to try it out. When Wang Yin confirmed the water was dry and ready, they hurriedly started heating water and adding charcoal. Everyone wanted to see what it felt like to take a bath. Watching the little beast girls crawl into the bath one after another, with their white, smooth thighs showing, Wang Yin felt a bit dizzy. All his busy days had been worth it. Wang Yin didn't hesitate. His original goal was to bathe with the little beast girls. He took off his clothes and got into the bath too. Ugh! So hot, so hot. Xiaoji was squealing and panting, but she didn't look uncomfortable. Instead, she looked very happy. Huayu wiped sweat from her forehead and sat gracefully at the edge of the bath. TSK, look at you. To enjoy a bath, you should be quiet like me. Luo didn't think the water was too hot. She even managed to heat the water from below. She obediently leaned against Huayu, took out a prepared soap, and gently scrubbed her wet tail. Yuli was the last to get in. She removed all her scales, revealing a stunning figure that could impress anyone. She didn't speak, but sat very noticeably opposite Wang Yin, glancing at him from time to time with a slightly blushing face, curious to see his reaction. And what about Zhuohua? Zhuohua entered after Wang Yin. Wang Yin was looking around when suddenly a cute figure sat on his lap. Zhuohua leaned back slightly, as if searching for a comfortable position, then nodded in satisfaction. She didn't know why she had cut off her tail, but because of that, she could sit close to Wang Yin. Wang Yin thought she wanted to be affectionate and didn't think much. He reached out to hold her, but Zhuohua suddenly moved, fussing about something, and then, guess for yourself, I sincerely ask for mercy. Wang Yin didn't expect Zhuohua to go this far. What should he do? Anyway, Zhuohua didn't move after that. She sat quietly in his arms. If not for, Wang Yin might really think she was just peacefully soaking in the bath. Hey, Sister Zhuohua, why are both your face and Wang Yin so red? Is it too hot? Squeaky crawled over and sat in front of Zhuohua. Seeing their faces so flushed, she wondered if the water was too hot. Zhuohua waved her hand and explained, it's nothing, just a little hot. I'll wait a bit. Wang Yin moved slightly, which really startled Zhuohua. Squeaky looked at Zhuohua with concern and said, are you really okay? Wang Yin just told us that staying in too long can make you faint. Sister Zhuohua, don't push yourself. Squeaky stretched lazily and sat next to Wang Yin. Huiwa leaned on the edge of the bath, her black cat tail emerging from the water, spinning in circles and creating a small whirlpool. She took a deep breath and let out a contented moan. This bath feels so good, meow. My whole body is almost soft from soaking. I want to sleep now, meow. Zhuohua kept her voice steady and said, if you're sleepy, then hurry to get out, dry off, and go back to sleep. Luo wiped her sweat with the back of her hand. She paid no attention to Zhuohua's movements. The family knew she was the most serious about bathing. She couldn't help. Her fluffy big tail was too hard to clean, making her sweat profusely. Yes, Huiwa, I've almost finished washing. Let's go together. Hey, I'm almost done too. Wait for me. Squeaky raised her hand to stop Luo, and the group left the bath together. Now, only Wang Yin, Zhuohua, and Yuli remained in the bath. Yuli was not as simple-minded as the other three sisters. She had already noticed what was happening with Zhuohua. Her face turned slightly red, and she slowly moved closer. Yuli, aren't you going with them? Zhuohua asked softly. Yuli smiled gently, but didn't say anything. She leaned toward Wang Yin, then lifted her chin and kissed him. I can't write this anymore. I'm too nervous. Sorry, I didn't mean to go too far. After skipping some unnecessary details, Wang Yin finally finished his bath, feeling very relaxed. After Squeaky and the others left, Yuli joined in. But the main focus was still Zhuohua. They played a little too wildly, but luckily, they stopped in time and all got out of the pool. Earlier, Wang Yin had ordered Gipple to prepare some towels and bathrobes. After bathing, everyone followed Wang Yan's instructions, dried off, put on bathrobes, and sat around the campfire chatting. Zhuohua's legs were a bit unsteady. She took small steps to sit down by the fire and joined her sister's chat. From a distance, Baigua saw everyone had come out, so she came over and said to Wang Yin, "Master, should I go and drain the water now?" Wang Yin nodded. Baigua had recovered quite well and had taken on many small chores. She also had experience working as a maid for noble families in Mouse City, so she was very skilled at it. Wang Yin nodded again, indicating she could go ahead. That saved him some worry. The sisters chattered happily, but Yingluo kept her head down, brushing her tail. Wang Yin looked up, then sat beside Yingluo and said, "Why aren't you talking?" Yingluo heard someone talking to her and looked up to see Wang Yin coming. She showed a slightly troubled expression and said while combing her fur, "Senior Zhuohua used to take us to bathe, but my tail fur is the most, so cleaning it is troublesome, drying it is also hard. Sigh. I really want to shave all the fur off my tail." Thinking about her bald tail, Wang Yin couldn't help but feel a bit nervous. He didn't want to see that, so he gently pulled Yingluo's tail over and started combing it carefully. "Let me help you." Yingluo blushed a little from Wang Yan's action but didn't want to push him away. She whispered, My tail is a bit sensitive, be gentle, okay?" To be honest, Yingluo's big tail felt very nice to touch, making people want to bury their face in it. Wang Yin carefully combed the fur to help it dry quickly. The shrunken tail gradually became fluffy again. "Hey Wang Yin, stop touching. It's already dry." Wang Yin grinned mischievously and asked, "What? I help you tidy your tail, and now you want to push me away?" Yingluo felt a little embarrassed by his words, blushing and hesitating. It's not. But your touch makes my tail itch." "Ah, forget it. Do as you like." Seeing her angry expression, Wang Yin couldn't help but find it funny. His wife was really adorable. Days passed day by day. Outside, it was freezing and snowy, but inside the cave, it was warm like spring. Sometimes, they could hear the howling cold wind outside, but it didn't bother the little beast girls and their family. Instead, it made them feel safer. Finally, the coldest days were over. Winter was coming to an end. According to Zhuohua's plan, in 3 days, winter would be gone. 3 days left? Hearing Zhuohua's plan, Wang Yin thought for a moment. He decided to celebrate the new year with the little beast girls. This was the only day of the year to celebrate surviving another year. There was no better day than this. When Wang Yin shared his idea, it caused confusion among the little beast girls. "New Year? What's that?" Even the knowledgeable Zhuohua had never heard of this saying. She asked Wang Yin, "Wang Yin, what exactly is the new year about?" Wang Yin looked at his curious family and cleared his throat proudly. He replied, "It's when everyone in the family gathers together, with lots of delicious food on the table. We chat, eat, and celebrate all the hard work we've done over the year. It's the most important day of the year." Once again, I ask everyone to leave comments. Some comments from brothers don't count, but I will like all the visible ones. Please help me out, everyone. QEQ. To prepare for the new year, Wang Yin used all his remaining points to participate in a lottery. He spent 6,400 points on about 93 plots of land, which wasn't a lot left over. However, Wang Yin still saved up enough for 30 draws. This time, he got 5 purple items, all very useful. They included a box of ibuprofen, a pack of bandages, a large knife, a double bed mattress, and surprisingly, a pair of white silk stockings. Ibuprofen is a versatile medicine that reduces inflammation and relieves pain. Even though he only got 1 box, in this environment with limited medical supplies, it could be a lifesaver in an emergency. The bandages were also a big help. Now, his family finally had some basic medical supplies. The large knife was about 1.5 meters long, probably made of steel. The exact material was hard to tell. It weighed around 100 kilograms. Only Wang Yin was strong enough to handle it. It was perfect for him, so he wouldn't need to use an axe anymore, which would look a bit less impressive. As for the mattress, there was nothing special to say. It was just for the little beast girls to take turns sleeping on. and the white silk stockings. Honestly, Wang Yin never expected to get such an item from the lottery. He stored it away for now. He couldn't understand why this item was classified as purple. He shook his head and stopped thinking about it. When he had the chance, he would let the little beast girls wear it. It's nice to look at, after all. Among the remaining items, besides some fruits, vegetables, snacks, drinks, and pre-made dishes, Wang Yin unlocked 3 more things. Rice seeds 1,000 points. Assorted fruit canned food 200 points per can. Iron shovel 500 points. When Wang Yin saw the rice seed being drawn, honestly, the surprise it gave him was even more exciting than winning a prize. Rice provides a sense of security for all people in the Dragon Country. It's not just a crop anymore. It's a symbol of being able to eat enough. Seeing this, Wang Yin felt like meeting an old friend in a strange land. Great. This is medium-grade rice that matures in just 1 day. I wonder if it needs to be husked. If it doesn't need drying, we might have rice on the table before the new year. However, Wang Yin only had about 400 points left for emergencies. He decided to wait until tomorrow morning, when the new batch of sun-grown fruit ripens. Wang Yin was in a very good mood. This would truly improve his family's diet. With enough carbohydrates, the little beast girls' meals would be much better. When Wang Yin announced that he would celebrate the new year with everyone, although no one knew exactly what the new year was like, they gradually started to look forward to it, thanks to Wang Yin's enthusiasm. During the new year, everyone wears new clothes. Wang Yin picked up the 2 small mice that were running around after Squeaky's tail. Looking at their cute faces, he couldn't help but smile. Master, we're catching earthworms with Sister Squeaky. Wang Yin gently patted the mice and said with a smile, you too, and Squeaky too, go wash your faces quickly. I've had Xiao Ji make new clothes for each of you. Go try them on. New clothes? Master, do we get some too? Wang Yin nodded happily. He liked these 2 mice quite a lot. Besides, they often played with Squeaky, making the house less dull. Thanks to Xiao Ji, who is very skilled at making clothes, even if it's for the whole family, she can quickly finish them. The 2 mice wore clothes-fitting cotton clothes, small boots, and a leather vest made from wild boar hide. After putting them on, they happily ran around, which lifted everyone's spirits. Not only do the 2 mice have new clothes, but Baigua also has some, and even Lu was given a set. However, she seems to dislike the feeling of being restricted by clothing. Every time, she refuses to wear them. In the end, Wang Yin had to coax and persuade her, finally getting her to wear a cotton outfit. She looks more like a normal person now. Using a carving knife, Wang Yin and Xiao Ji cut several wooden planks. Based on videos he had seen before, they built a large square table with a mortise and tenon joint. However, time was a bit tight, so they used smooth stones instead of chairs. They covered them with some cotton cloth to make do. After a day, the rice finally ripened. As Wang Yin predicted, the harvested rice was already processed into pure rice grains. Each piece of land produced about 20 kilograms, roughly enough for a bag of rice. Even with Lu, who loves to eat, it would last the family for a while. Everyone was busy these days, following Wang Yan's instructions. Finally, on the last night of winter, the family sat together around the big table. Everyone looked happy. Even Baigua's family had rosy cheeks, with no sign of the pale, sickly look of refugees. When everyone was gathered here, they truly understood what Wang Yin meant by celebrating the new year. Looking at the big table of food, everyone instinctively swallowed hard. The main dish in the center was pork ribs cooked with tiger meat and potatoes in a stew. There were also various roasted meats, smoked meats, stir-fried dishes, and canned pre-made foods from the system, 12 dishes in total. But the most eye-catching was the white, bowl-sized thing placed in front of each person. Saliva almost dripped from their mouths. Wiping their mouths with the back of their hand, they asked Wang Yin, what is this? The little beast girls didn't know how to use chopsticks, so Wang Yin prepared a wooden spoon for each of them. There was no rush. They could learn to use chopsticks later. Wang Yin picked up a ceramic bowl and didn't rush to explain. Instead, he demonstrated. He scooped a piece of pork rib from the basin and ate it with rice. Seeing Wang Yan's example, everyone else followed his lead. When the meat and rice entered their mouths, it felt like a whole new world opening in their lives. Rice is the purest form of carbohydrate food. Although it doesn't have a fancy taste on its own, it is an essential part of the dining table. The distinct grains move between lips and teeth, and the soft, sticky texture brings out every flavor in the meat juices. Just the first bite makes everyone fall in love with this staple food. Seeing everyone start to focus on enjoying their rice, Wang Yin nodded happily. That's right. What kind of life is it just eating potatoes? Having a staple food means you are truly eating a proper meal. This thing is called rice. When cooked and placed in a bowl, it's called rice. How is it? Isn't it delicious? Squeak. Very good, very good. Ing Luo. It tastes pretty good. Zhuohua. Even among the upper class, I've never seen this before. Everyone responded positively, looking happy and harmonious. Most of the dishes on the table had been eaten, hardly any leftovers. Celebrating the new year really is wonderful. After the meal, Baigua held her child in her arms. Little Mouse curled up in her embrace, biting her finger. Her big eyes curiously looked at everyone. Baigua knelt in front of Wang Yin, her face full of sincerity. She quickly said to Wang Yin, "Master, I wish for good luck. This child hasn't chosen a name yet. You are knowledgeable, so I hope you can kindly give her a name." Wang Yin glanced at the little mouse in Baigua's arms. The little creature was smaller than a normal baby. Wang Yin smiled faintly, then gently took the little mouse from Baigua's arms. The little mouse didn't cry or make trouble, just stared at Wang Yin with bright, clear eyes. Wang Yin held the mouse in his arms and looked at Zhuohua beside him. Zhuohua smiled softly, understanding what Wang Yin meant. He was passing the question to her. She thought for a moment, then reached out and gently poked the chubby cheek of the mouse, smiling as she said, "Let's call her Little Rice. 100,000 words, 100,000 words, 100,000 words." Happy. Dear readers, please give me lots of ratings. I really need your good reviews. Inside the cave, it was hard to tell the time. Only a rough estimate was possible, so Wang Yin didn't take the little beast girls to stay up late. After cleaning up, he went back to rest. Wang Yin also celebrated his first new year in the wall abyss. After waking up, Wang Yin and a group of small beast girls pushed aside the stones blocking the cave entrance. When the first rays of sunlight shone on their faces, it felt warm and gentle. He instinctively covered his face with his hand. A soft breeze blew, which was still a bit cold, but compared to the sharp winter winds, it felt much gentler. Wang Yin stretched lazily and took a deep breath of fresh air. From today, everyone could start preparing for outdoor activities. In early spring, there wasn't much urgent work to do. Usually, at this time of year, the small beast girls would quickly go out to gather and hunt, trying to collect enough supplies to trade later when merchants arrived. This was the busiest and most urgent time of the year. Since Wang Yin was here, food supplies were already enough, so there was no need to rush. They could follow their usual routine. He made some plans. Only Baigua, Xiaoji, and Alu stayed at home. Baigua was responsible for taking care of Little Rice. Xiaoji continued weaving fabric at the loom. Wang Yin planned to make a stockpile of this cotton cloth to trade with merchants later. As for Alu, she just ate and slept every day. He didn't expect much from her. She could just be a guard, which was fine. Having Alu as a guard was very helpful. At least, they didn't need to worry about fierce beasts attacking near the house. Wang Yin felt safe enough to let the others go their separate ways. Hua Yu and Ji, along with 2 mice, mainly went out to gather things. Since it was still early spring and the snow hadn't fully melted, their main tasks were to find medicinal herbs and check bird nests. They tried to find edible or valuable items to bring back. Then there was the hunting team of 4, Wang Yin and Zhuohua in one group, Ing Luo and Yu Li in another. They split up and headed in different directions to hunt small animals that had just come out of hibernation. Wang Yin had already hunted many hibernating animals before, so spring hunting might be a little difficult. Still, they could catch some, and they wouldn't come back empty-handed. As the little beast girls' prey increased, even though they kept a small female dragon at home, the pile of beast meat was gradually overflowing. Honestly, Wang Yin urgently needs a way to handle these thousands of pounds of meat. The smokehouse has now been expanded to 4 units. Although they are set up far from the living area, building more might cause the thick smoke to exceed the cave's natural ventilation limit, which could affect everyone's daily life. Pickling methods are not very effective either. Currently, all the salt used at home comes from Wang Yan's system exchange. He bought a seasoning set for 1,000 points. As more people join the household, These seasonings could no longer meet the demand. Wang Yin desperately needs to find a long-term way to supply salt, but relying solely on system exchanges is too costly for him. Wang Yin followed Zhuohua. Honestly, he always found Zhuohua's strength mysterious. He had only seen her make a move a few times. She would simply point her jade hand, send out a wave like sword energy, and the prey would disappear without any extra attack. This made Wang Yin very curious about her true power. Today, they didn't encounter any big game. Seeing no good loot, Wang Yin decided to head home. But just as he was about to leave with Zhuohua, a loud, dull crash came from nearby. It sounded like something had fallen from the sky. The two looked at each other, then nodded, both planning to go see what it was. The fallen object was not far from them. When they reached the spot, Wang Yin saw what it was, scattered, broken wood chips. It looked like a wooden box, probably a cargo crate that had fallen from the sky. Wang Yin immediately became interested and said, "Huh? Things falling from the sky? That's unusual." Zhuohua shrugged and explained, "Actually, these things are quite normal. They're probably accidental drops from the upper levels. Luckily, this time it's just a merchant's cargo crate. Most of the time, what falls are just household trash." Wang Yin curled his lips in disdain and said, really lacking in manners, "Since I am here." Wang Yin shrugged his shoulders, ready to see what kind of goods were in the cargo box. He eagerly ran over, but inside, everything looked like dark stone bricks. They seemed to be building materials, all shattered into pieces, which was quite disappointing. Zhuohua stepped forward, picked up a broken brick, examined it carefully, and recognized what it was. He explained to Wang Yin, "This is called heavy black rock. It is very heavy. These bricks are usually used for city walls and upper areas, but now they are all broken, so these bricks are useless." Sighing softly, Wang Yin shook his head helplessly. He thought he might find something good, but it turned out to be just a pile of broken bricks. Not wanting to look further, he decided to take Zhuohua home for a meal. However, as he turned his head, his eyes caught a flash of yellowish color. At first, he didn't notice anything strange, but after walking a few steps, he felt more and more uneasy, as if something was calling him. Wang Yin suddenly turned back, reached into the pile of broken bricks, and started digging. When he pulled out the yellow object from the debris, his hands trembled. This is... Seeing what Wang Yin had dug out, even Zhuohua's eyes widened in shock. Both hands covered their mouths, their faces full of amazement. It was the most valuable treasure in any world, solid currency in all the regions of the wall abyss. It was a piece of gold, about the size of a palm, heavy and reassuring to hold. The surface had an ancient, mysterious sun pattern, making both of them feel like they were dreaming. Wang Yin swallowed hard, wiped his eyes, and confirmed he wasn't seeing things. Then he shouted loudly to wake Zhuohua, "Start digging." No one expected that among all those heavy black rock bricks, there could be so many gold pieces hidden. Wang Yin and Zhuohua worked together, digging through the broken bricks with all their strength. They had to find and remove all the bricks as quickly as possible. They didn't stop for a moment. After nearly an hour, they cleared out the entire warehouse. They found 25 identical gold pieces, all hidden inside the bricks. Each one weighed about a pound. After collecting all the gold ingots into the system space, Wang Yin and Zhuohua exchanged a quick look, clearly understanding each other's meaning. They hurriedly cleaned up the destroyed warehouse area, throwing away the broken wood chips and shattered black rocks down the cliff. After finishing these tasks, they quickly left the place of trouble. Wang Yin had seen similar scenes many times in Western action movies. Gang leaders losing money, which is then picked up by a poor person, leading to a chase with the gang. It was obvious that these gold ingots hidden in stone bricks were not meant to be seen, and it was likely someone would come after them later. But Wang Yin didn't care about that. The warehouse that collapsed was his territory, and no one could make him give up the items. What if someone comes looking for trouble? Oh well, I am just a weak scholar who doesn't understand these things. You should talk to my silly little white-haired girl at home. In any case, Wang Yin had unexpectedly gained a large sum of money. Maybe later he could sell these items to the upper world to get some necessary resources. The two of them ran quickly and soon returned home. After entering, Wang Yin hurriedly sealed the entrance with a giant stone, catching his breath. He kept thinking to himself, "I've made a huge profit this time. Wang Yin, can I see that gold ingot just now?" Shuohua asked. Without hesitation, Wang Yin took it out from the system space and handed it to her. Shuohua carefully examined its appearance and then said slowly, "This pattern. I haven't seen it much. It doesn't look like currency, more like some kind of craftwork. But from the shine, it's definitely pure gold." She looked at it several more times, then returned the gold ingot to Wang Yin and advised him, "Keep this safe with you. It's better than leaving it somewhere else. For now, don't tell your sisters about this. When the bell comes in a few days, give her some money and ask her to take you to the upper world to find a place. You can exchange these for silver there." Wang Yin thought the same. How to handle these gold ingots properly was a problem because they didn't know where they came from. So, Wang Yin decided to melt all the ingots into pure gold bars first. He couldn't just give them directly to Bell to sell, or the secret might be leaked. After all, it is very strange for a group of common people to have so much gold. That night, after dinner, everyone went to sleep. Wang Yin called Ying Luo aside quietly and whispered, "Ying Luo, I will take out some things later. You just use the biggest fire to melt them, understand?" Ying Luo nodded softly. Although she didn't quite understand Wang Yan's meaning, she thought he wanted her to burn something with fire. After looking around for a while, Wang Yin carefully took out a gold disc and placed it on a stone, telling Ying Luo to heat it with fire. Usually, real gold melting requires quartz bowls. Otherwise, the gold would stick to the bottom and be hard to remove. But Wang Yan's goal wasn't really to melt the gold. He just wanted to soften it and destroy its original shape. Because he needed a strong fire, Ying Luo had to enter a burning state. Although she didn't know exactly what the gold disc was, she could tell it was very valuable. She didn't ask questions and gently extended her hand. A compressed flame wrapped around the gold disc, quickly turning it into a very soft shape. Wang Yin immediately stepped forward, grabbing a military knife and messing around with it until it finally became a lump of gold, then stopped. Wang Yin wiped the sweat from his forehead, satisfied and nodding. Perfect, it no longer looked like the original. That was the effect he wanted. Then, Wang Yin took out the remaining gold discs one after another, leaving 3 untouched. He worked until late at night before finishing the melting process. It was exhausting for Ying Luo. She had initially planned to secretly play a game with Wang Yin after finishing, but now she was so tired she could hardly stand. Wang Yin stored all the gold lumps in the system warehouse. He helped the swaying big fox to her feet, gently stroked her fox ears, and held her slender waist. His touch made her feel ticklish. Her big tail behind her wagged left and right unconsciously, and her eyes narrowed with a slight smile. "All right, thank you, Ying Luo. You worked hard." He gently kissed the corner of her mouth. The big fox's lips curled even higher, looking very sweet. She grabbed Wang Yan's collar, tiptoed, and gave him a kiss. But this girl was a bit fierce. Her kisses seemed endless. After a long while, Ying Luo's soft, tender tongue slowly withdrew from Wang Yan's lips. Her face was as red as a juicy peach. She tilted Wang Yan's head up. Although she was now weak, Wang Yin still had strength. "Wang Yin, come with me. I have something I want to ask for your help with." After a hidden scene, both of them were exhausted and went back to sleep, dreaming sweet dreams. Traveling merchants usually only return twice a year, once in spring and once before winter. About 3 or 4 days later, with a loud whale call, everyone understood that the little bell had arrived again. So, without waiting for Wang Yan's instructions, they all brought out the goods they wanted to sell. When the cloud whale's fins reached the edge of the cliff again, everyone had prepared their items for sale. Little Belle adjusted her frog-shaped glasses, still dressed like a wealthy person, with a big gold chain and small jade bracelets. She was almost wearing a gold tooth. "Hello, my customers. Congratulations, congratulations. You've survived another winter." Under her sunglasses, her big eyes playfully glanced around. She looked at the piled-up goods behind everyone and was genuinely surprised, showing interest. "This time, the business seems quite big. So, boss, what do you think?" Little Belle looked at Wang Yin and said with her hand on her hip. Wang Yin was momentarily stunned. He didn't fall into Little Belle's trap of flattery and quickly waved his hand. No, you're mistaken. I'm not the boss. Sister Zhuohua is." Little Belle suddenly understood. She lightly tapped her head with her small fist, apologizing. "Oh, my. I should change this mirror to a pair of glasses for nearsightedness. Sister Zhuohua, you've sold so many goods this time. Looks like life has been pretty good lately. Little Belle originally wanted to test Wang Yan's status among the beast people, but Wang Yan was too cautious, so she gave up. Just a quick glance revealed to her that there were 3 new rat people among the beast people. However, she didn't ask further. From their appearance, she guessed they were refugees fleeing from Rat Tuber City. After all, recently, the rat people settlement was Rat Tuber City. Considering the previous tragedy caused by the cursed tree church in Rat Tuber City, Little Belle roughly guessed the story of this rat woman's experience. Regarding Little Belle's straightforward probing, Zhuohua slightly frowned, but didn't mind much. She glanced at Little Belle and then pointed to a row of goods behind her. Let's first see how much it's worth. Little Belle rubbed her chin with one hand and adjusted her glasses with the other. She moved closer to the goods and finally saw what these beast-human hybrids had prepared. There were 5 bolts of cloth, each about 10 meters long, neatly stacked together. The rest were smoked-dried meats, roughly 100 kilograms of good quality smoked meat, enough for a big order. Belle looked thoughtful, rubbing her chin. Usually, these beast-human hybrids couldn't get enough to eat. Why would they suddenly sell food to her, and such good smoked meat at that? And the cloth. The last time she visited, she saw them by 2 spindles. But where did they get the cotton? Almost instinctively, Little Belle looked up and shot a quick glance at Wang Yan. This man, his connection to these beast-human hybrids was definitely related. A large part of Belle's income came from selling information. She often picked up useful details from small, unnoticed moments. She smiled slightly and turned to Zhuohua. Senior Zhuohua, this is a big deal. I'll charge you 150 silver per bolt of coarse cloth. As for these smoked meats, they look quite mixed. How about this? These meats plus the 5 bolts of cloth. I'll sell everything for 3,000 silver. How does that sound? Zhuohua was slightly surprised. Honestly, she didn't expect this price. She knew Little Belle well, had dealt with her many times. Although she hadn't been cheated much, she knew she was a clever trader. She had never taken advantage of her. Could it be that something strange was happening? Well, this price is a bit unexpected. Tell me, what are you up to? Don't hide anything from me. Zhuohua straightforwardly revealed the topic. She didn't like playing mind games with people like Little Belle. Little Belle chuckled and didn't feel embarrassed. She rubbed her hands and leaned toward Zhuohua, whispering, I actually have a favor to ask, Sister Zhuohua. Since we're both from the same group, I find him more and more agreeable. Maybe, could you lend him to me for a couple of days? Zhuohua thought for a moment and knew she was interested in Wang Yan. She shook her head decisively. That's a bit difficult. As you can see, we have many girls at home, and we can't even manage ourselves, let alone lend someone out. Of course, Little Belle didn't really want to play with Wang Yan. She was clever and mainly wanted to borrow him to get some information, hoping to find something new. Since Zhuohua refused, Little Belle guessed she wouldn't agree easily. She didn't press further, just nodded with a hint of regret. All right, if Sister Zhuohua is reluctant, I won't insist. But let's stick to this price. Since there's a lot involved this time, consider it a discount. Zhuohua softly agreed, and then remembered what Wang Yan had told her recently. She continued, this time, I mainly want to ask you for 2 things. First, where is the nearest salt mine around here? Do you have any clues? Hearing this, Little Belle's eyes flickered with a subtle doubt, but she quickly responded normally. She pretended to think and said, salt mine. Honestly, if I knew where one was, I would have sold the information to the higher-ups long ago. But she deliberately paused, hiding something behind her hands. It's not that I have no clues, but that involves the privacy of my other clients. The small girl with blue hair tilted her head and smiled slyly, her small sunglasses hiding a mischievous look. That'll cost more. Zhuohua shrugged, showing indifference. Whatever you want. As long as the information is real, I'll give you these things for free. Little Belle snapped her fingers. Great. I like trading with Sister Zhuohua. No fuss, everyone's happy. Approximately 1 month east of your location, there is a gathering place of about 10 people from the Rock Sheep tribe. If you're looking for salt mines, this group might have some clues. However, we prefer clear prices. What you see is what you pay. The Rock Sheep tribe's gathering site costs only 2,000 silver coins. If Sister Zhuohua agrees, I can send you a map of that location right away. The Rock Sheep tribe. Zhuohua knows about this tribe. They are a very salt-loving race, born with a natural ability to sense salt. Usually, where the rock sheep live, you can find salt mines. As for the 2,000 silver coins for the map, Zhuohua isn't too worried. Wang Yin told her that she wouldn't take any profit from sales, only converting everything into useful information. As long as it helps find the salt mine, any cost is worth it. All right, 2,000 silver coins it is. I have no objections. I happen to have some left, which makes it easier for us to discuss something else. Does Sister Zhuohua have any other deals? Let me hear about them. Zhuohua slightly raised her hand and grabbed Ding Luo's wrist, speaking to her. My younger sister recently awakened something by chance. She needs to buy some essentials for the fox tribe. Essentials for the fox tribe? Let me think. Oh, I see. You're talking about that tea, right? Zhuohua nodded, confirming Lingdang's guess. Lingdang waved her hand dismissively. Come on, sisters. No need to overthink. Just follow along. I'm heading to Anju City to unload goods soon, so I'll take you with me. Zhuohua interrupted Lingdang's words and added, Hey, I haven't finished talking. My sister has a bit of a strong craving in that area, so I need to bring that stallion along too. So, actually, it's 2 people. Oh, Lingdang's eyes narrowed slightly, suddenly interested. Storyline already planned. We'll revise accordingly. Lingdang didn't say much. She crossed her arms, lost in thought. Then she nodded. All right, that works. 2 people won't take up much space. So, I'll come back early tomorrow. Be ready by then. For 2 of you, I'll charge 300 silver coins. Sending a few passengers along the way is possible, but among these merchants, everyone assumes tickets are one way. If you want to go back, you have to rely on your own skills. These merchants usually only give rides when they are passing by. Making a special trip back would cost too much money, and they won't do such a losing business. There are a total of 3,000 silver coins. 2,000 bought some information, 300 paid for a shared ride, and the remaining 700 are kept by Zhuohua for their travel expenses. Wang Yin didn't have many important belongings to pack. Since he has a system warehouse, he can just take whatever he needs from there. At night, Wang Yin started carving straight wooden sticks into chopsticks. He gave each person a pair and began teaching them how to use chopsticks. However, learning to use chopsticks isn't easy. Everyone struggled to control their hands, looking quite funny. Squeaking in frustration, Gigi wanted to put down her chopsticks and said annoyedly, This thing is so hard to use. It's much easier to just eat with a spoon. Wang Yin smiled gently and demonstrated how to use chopsticks. He quickly picked up some meat from the pot and placed it into a bowl, then took a bite with rice. Once you get the hang of it, chopsticks are very convenient utensils. You can eat more food in one meal. Wang Yin knew how to guide Gigi. After hearing this, the little mouse girl didn't say much and kept practicing with her lips, trying to tame the chopsticks, which made others smile. Learning to use chopsticks was still a bit difficult. Wang Yin didn't make them use chopsticks all the time. Later, everyone used spoons. Today was just practice. While the family was sitting together eating, Wang Yin felt Bai Guo seemed to have something to say. Every time he looked up, she would quickly lower her head, as if she wanted to speak, but hesitated. Wang Yin didn't bother to ask too much. After the meal, he asked Bai Guo, do you have something to tell me? You can speak freely. When Wang Yin asked, Bai Guo looked tense, and her words became hesitant. Well, I do have something. I want to humbly ask the Lord for a favor. Go ahead and tell me. Wang Yin looked at Bai Guo with a calm expression, waiting for her to speak. Bai Guo waved to the little mouse-shaped girl and quickly pulled her to kneel with her, bowing her head. Master, today I heard that you plan to go to Anju City with the merchants tomorrow. I want to ask if you could also take this child with you. Wang Yin looked a bit confused and asked, What's wrong? Bai Guo lowered her head even more and said, Anju City. This child has a distant uncle in the Crimson Rose Knights. I want you to take her along so she can go to her uncle and become a Crimson Rose Knight too. When she grows up, she can have skills to serve you. Crimson Rose Knights? Wang Yin repeated, and Zhuohua, standing nearby, explained, The Iron Mountain Kingdom is the largest rat tribe kingdom in the middle and lower classes. Under the royal Yasi family, there are 3 main knight groups, and the Crimson Rose is one of them. After hearing Zhuohua's explanation, Wang Yin understood more. He remembered the gilded pocket watch Bai Guo had given him before, though he had sold it for information, which seemed to be a reward for his service in the knight group. It seemed Bai Guo's family had a tradition of joining the army. Wang Yin had no strong opinion about it. Since she wanted to send the child, he would just send her along the way. No problem. One more person is no trouble. You all rest early tonight and prepare well for the child. Tomorrow morning, when the merchants arrive, we'll leave. They slept peacefully through the night. Early the next morning, the family got up before dawn. Baigua bent over, looking at the small mouse in front of her, feeling a mix of emotions. A mother's worry for her child crossing 1,000 miles was universal in any world. She repeatedly brushed the child's hair, trying to make him look more presentable after entering the city. But no matter how she dressed him, his natural rustic look couldn't be hidden. Mom, I will listen carefully to my uncle, learn skills, and come back to thank the master. The little mouse's eyes shimmered with tears. He stood straight, speaking stiffly, pretending to be brave. When we get there, listen more, talk less. Do whatever your uncle asks, don't show off. Study hard and work hard. The master has been kind to our family. Remember the master's kindness, understand? Yes. Wang Yin watched this scene without disturbing them. Sometimes he was quite envious of Little Biscuit. Having a mother around made it feel like home. No matter how poor they were, she was still a child with a home. At least, unlike himself. Suddenly, a loud whale call echoed, and the huge body broke through the cloud waves. The cloud whale approached again. Little Cake finally couldn't hold back and started crying loudly, hugging Little Biscuit's neck and sniffling as he shouted, "Big sister, please come back safely." Parting always brought tears. Wang Yin grabbed Little Biscuit's back collar, and together with Ing Luo, they boarded the cloud whale. As they stepped onto the deck, they saw a pair of round sunglasses. "Hey, another guest has arrived. But this guest seems a bit small," he said. Wang Yin shrugged, gently lowering the crying little mouse, and asked, "How much do you want to add?" Unexpectedly, Little Belle was very enthusiastic. She stepped forward and took Wang Yan's hand, blinking at him. "Hi. Of course we need to talk inside about business. Come with me, and we can chat slowly." "Sorry," Ing Luo said with a blank expression, pulling them apart. Her tone was a bit stiff. "The money is with me. I should be the one discussing the price." Seeing this, Little Belle couldn't help but curl her lips in disdain. That young girl is quite possessive. She only glanced at the little mouse and then waved her hand. Forget it, forget it. I won't ask for much from such a little thing, so I won't go back and be called greedy by Joie. Sigh, a good merchant like me is rare in the entire wall abyss." Little Belle grabbed a special spoon and blew into it forcefully, sending a sharp wave of sound across the entire deck. "Treasure, we're setting off." The cloud whale let out a long call. Its name was originally Zhao Kai, which suited Little Belle's style very well. After a while, a feeling of tilting back came, about 30 degrees upward. The cloud whale had started climbing. To ensure the stability of the cargo, these merchant cloud whales usually follow a zigzag route, avoiding direct vertical paths that could cause chaos. "If we leave now, we'll arrive at Unju City by this afternoon. There are chairs in the warehouse. Just hold on tight and sit comfortably. Otherwise, if we encounter bad weather, don't blame me if you get hurt or bumped." The group heard the bell's warning and stopped wandering around. They all found a safe place to sit quietly. Wang Yin hugged Ing Luo's waist with one arm, while the other held onto the bench. Little Biscuit was tucked between his legs, clutching his pants tightly. They waited patiently and quietly. Riding the cloud whale felt a bit like the takeoff of a plane, but it was just continuously rising. The journey was a little boring. Their seats were a bit away from the window, so they couldn't enjoy the view, which was a bit disappointing. The bench had no safety features, so Wang Yin couldn't move around freely. If he accidentally bumped into something, he might get hurt. Little Belle had returned to a small room deep inside the warehouse shortly after leaving. It looked like a bedroom. She sat there all day, holding onto the armrest of the chair. Gradually, her excited expression softened. The playful sunset broke through the window. Wang Yin knew they were close to their destination. He gently tapped Ing Luo, who was sleeping on his shoulder, and also tugged at Little Biscuit's big round ears, which were holding his pant leg, to remind them. "Everyone wake up. We're almost there." Ing Luo blinked sleepily and rubbed her eyes. Little Biscuit yawned, loosened his grip on his pants, and sat up straight. As the cloud whale let out a long call, they knew they had arrived at Unju City. Wang Yin stood up straight, stretched his sore muscles, and excitedly moved to the window to look outside. This was the first town he saw in this world. It looked a bit small, but comparable to the village where he grew up. The town was shaped like a valley, with half outside and half inside a rocky cliff. Through the window, he saw people of different races walking on the streets, which was fascinating. Overall, Unju City had no roads leading outside. There was only a huge cloud whale port on the shore. Besides Little Bell, 4 other cloud whales were docked there. The town seemed to rely on trade, and its prosperity was obvious. I am about to go to the merchant guild to unload these goods. I remember you want to buy that shiri tea, right? There is a shop that sells tea inside the city. You might want to go in and take a look. After unloading the goods, I will go somewhere else. If you want to go back, you'll have to find your own way. There are many traders coming and going in Unju City, and some may be heading to the lower districts. Maybe you can try your luck at the port later. Ingluo nodded and thanked Lingdang. Then the 3 of them got off the cloud whale and officially entered Unju City. The first thing to do in Unju City was to take the little biscuit to find the Red Rose Knight Order's base. They would send the little one inside to find his uncle. Next, they looked around the city to see if they could find a place to sell the already melted gold blocks. As for the shiri tea Lingdang mentioned, Wang Yin had no intention of buying it. Buying tea was just a cover. His main goal was to get rid of the gold. Also, Wang Yin could produce the shiri tea himself if he wanted to. After awakening his talent, foxes can usually drink a special tea called shiri tea to boost their mental strength and improve their abilities. The raw material for this tea is a plant called the secret spirit sunflower, which he previously looked down on. Now he understood what this crop was really for. The streets were busy with many different people. Wang Yin casually asked a passerby about the location of the Red Rose Knight Order. At first, the person was a bit impatient, but when Wang Yin took out 10 silver coins, his expression turned friendly. The Red Rose Knight Order is inside the city. Go west after entering, and after you see a stone sculpture, turn right. Wang Yin memorized the location, then handed the money to the man. The group headed toward the inner city. Inside the city, because it was built into a cliff, there were many street lamps that stayed lit all the time, so it wasn't too dark. After walking a bit, they saw a noble statue made of marble. Wang Yin turned right and crossed the street. Sure enough, a black building with red accents appeared before them. Looking at this Gothic-style building, it was obvious that it was the Red Rose Knight Order. Before they could go inside, 2 guards at the door stopped them. Stop. What are you here for at the Red Rose Knights? Those 2 guards are also mice, wearing simple black and red striped armor, holding long spears. Their small size makes them look a bit like Boy Scouts. Facing the guards' questioning, Wang Yin straightforwardly states his purpose. We're here to find this child's uncle. What's his name again? My uncle. Mom said his name is Begonia. When the 2 guards hear the name Begonia, they exchange a quick glance, but say nothing. One mouse bows to the group, then whispers a few words to another mouse with big ears. The mouse quickly runs inside. Little sister, you say that Senior Begonia is your uncle, right? Your uncle's situation might be special. My partner has gone to find the Knight Commander. You can wait here for now. Hearing this, Wang Yin feels a bit suspicious. The Knight Commander? Could it be that this child's uncle isn't here? The mice are quick. Soon, a heavily armored mouse appears. Her armor looks more formal than the guards, dark black with red patterns. On her chest is a red rose emblem. Her helmet covers her entire head, leaving only her round mouse ears visible. She carries a large sword on her back, giving off a cold, strong aura. This is very impressive. Wang Yan's first impression of the Knight Commander is that she is powerful. She glances at the little girl and then speaks indifferently. Are you related to Begonia? Her voice is emotionless, like cold steel. Your uncle recently died on a mission. He was brave and sacrificed himself to protect his comrades. We will always remember him. The little biscuit was a bit hesitant. He had never met his distant uncle before, so how could he prove it? Behind him, Wang Yin took out a small photo and handed it over. This child's family has a gold-plated pocket watch. They sold it because of money problems, but this photo, it should prove something, right? The Knight Commander took the small photo and looked at it carefully for a moment before saying, I heard from Dagwa that he has an elder who once served the Empress. This photo is definitely of Royal Tooth 16, no mistake. But I never heard him mention having a niece. She slowly knelt down, her cold armor making a clinking sound. She picked up a biscuit with one arm, touched her ear, and lifted her tail as if checking her. After a quick look around, she stood up and said, You came here to have this child join the Red Rose Knights, right? The little biscuit nodded firmly, with a determined look. Mom said that becoming a knight can protect everyone, and then serve the Lord to repay his kindness. The knight commander looked at Wang Yin again. His calm expression showed no emotion. After a pause, he said, "You have a good foundation, meeting the requirements of the Red Rose. What's your name?" "Begonia Flower, Little Biscuit." "Good. You can join today. I happen to have time to show you around the place." Wang Yin thought for a moment and suddenly said, "Tonight? Could you give us a little more time? I want to buy some things for the child first. What do you think? Try not to stay out too late." Having received the knight commander's approval, Wang Yin didn't delay and quickly took Little Biscuit into the shopping street. Although she wasn't sure what to buy, she figured preparing as she did before starting school wouldn't be wrong. Even without asking, outsiders could see the location of Unju City's shopping street. It was unavoidable since it occupied the city's central avenue, connecting the inner and outer city areas. Walking along the street, Wang Yin prepared a set of bedding and some new clothes. It was surprising that in this commercial town, clothes of all sizes could be found. Since the rat tribe was a middle to lower class household, finding suitable clothes was quite easy. Finally, they bought some daily items like lunchboxes and basins. Everything was packed, and the three of them carried the big bags to the Knights Guild entrance. Later, Little Biscuit could pack his things himself. Seeing Wang Yin buy so many things for him, Little Biscuit hesitated. His master had spent so much money on him. He wanted to stop him, but his master quickly scolded him back. Little Biscuit fiddled with his clothes and stood there, looking a bit stunned. "That's enough. I won't help you carry anything inside. Hurry up and go. Don't keep the knight captain waiting too long." Little Biscuit's eyes turned red. His master was so kind to him. He saw Wang Yin walk away without looking back. His chest felt tight, and his fists clenched tightly. He seemed to want to shout out something important. "Master, I will definitely become the strongest knight and serve you." Wang Yin paused for a moment, but didn't look back. He continued walking forward. Just focus on staying alive first. At first, Wang Yin didn't pay much attention to this matter. But when he learned that Little Biscuit's uncle had died, he couldn't help but think more. That means joining the Red Rose Knight Order isn't completely safe. There's still a risk of death. Plus, the child's uncle had already died. He was alone outside, with no one to take care of him. It might be very sad. Although he didn't say it out loud, Wang Yin showed his concern through his actions. Whether he could make a name for himself or not, at least staying alive was the most important thing. Then he would have gained something. He had about 500 silver coins left. When he was packing Little Biscuit's things earlier, he quietly put aside over 400 silver. He kept only 100 for himself. First, he bought a long black robe that could cover his body completely. Then, he bought iron chains and collars used by traders to trap slaves' necks. He didn't have enough money, so he added some miscellaneous items to buy everything. After preparing these things, Wang Yin looked around, then took Yingluo's hand. He found a quiet alley and went inside. After a moment, when they came out, he was holding a chain in one hand and dragging a fox tribe in the other, dressed in a black robe. Yingluo looked curiously at the iron collar on her neck. Honestly, she didn't seem to mind being and led by Wang Yin. In fact, she seemed to have some other feelings. She was unsure, but felt it was quite fun. "King Yin, so from now on, I will be your servant, right?" King Yin nodded gently, but then seemed to think something was wrong. He wiped some dust from the ground and smeared it on Yingluo's face. He also messed up her long grayish hair until her previous appearance was unrecognizable. Then he was satisfied. "Yes, later you must not call me King Yin anymore. You should call me your master. Remember, don't reveal anything. Do you understand?" Yingluo nodded firmly. She could handle these small tasks. She lowered her voice and sweetly called out, "Master." That single word made King Yan's scalp tingle. He looked up at Yingluo, noticing her playful expression. Is she trying to him? "Later tonight, I will deal with you," King Yin said harshly, then pulled on the chain and walked out. He needed to hide his identity because what he was about to sell was extremely valuable. So, he had to keep his information secret. The black robe and the chain were his ideas, and they looked quite intimidating. Soon, the two wandered around the inner city and finally found a place that sold precious jewelry. King Yin pulled Yingluo inside. As soon as they entered, a human girl approached. She looked average, with some small freckles on her face. But she wasn't ugly. Her red dress with a plum blossom pattern and the elegant jade bracelet on her wrist gave her a noble air that King Yin had never seen in anyone else. Welcome to the jewelry shop. What would you like to see? Following the principle of speaking as little as possible, Wang Yan's wide black robe covered his face, making it hard to see what kind of face was beneath the cloak. He reached into his robe and fumbled around for a moment, actually retrieving an item from the system warehouse. Soon, a shiny gold lump appeared in Wang Yan's hand. He lowered his voice, trying to make his tone more vague. Can I sell this? When Lan Yu saw Wang Yan take out such a large piece of gold, she momentarily held her breath. It wasn't until Wang Yan's deep voice spoke that she reacted. However, as someone who often deals with valuable jewelry, Lan Yu didn't show much surprise. She quickly adjusted her expression and respectfully said, "Dear guest, of course we can buy this at our jewelry shop. May I ask, is this all your goods, or do you have more?" Wang Yan silently nodded to confirm her words. After a pause, he spoke again. "Just 2 pieces, both the same size." The woman heard this and pursed her lips. Was he selling 2 pieces of gold? "Sir, please wait a moment. Since this involves gold, I need to have my father come to assist you. Please do it quickly." Having received Wang Yan's approval, Lan Yu hurried upstairs. Within 2 minutes, a middle-aged man with a slender face appeared. He looked very friendly, exchanged greetings with Wang Yan, and prepared to take him upstairs for a detailed discussion. Hello. I am the owner of the jewelry shop. You can call me Mr. Lan. I just heard from my daughter that you have a large order, and I want to discuss it with you. Please, Lan Shan, human race age, 55 favorability, 15 talent, not awakened specialty, advanced social skills, master of trading, top jewelry knowledge, weak physique. Wang Yan glanced briefly without saying much. He simply tugged on the chain in his hand and walked ahead. Lan Shan was quite clever. Seeing Wang Yan's outfit, he guessed that Wang Yan wanted to hide his identity. So, he didn't ask too many questions about Wang Yan's background to avoid offending him. People like this usually deal in shady goods, so caution was necessary. When they reached the 2nd floor, Lan Shan led Wang Yan to the study desk and sat down. Wang Yan didn't hesitate and directly took out the 2 gold ingots. When he saw the shiny gold in front of him, Lan Shan couldn't help but gasp softly. This kind of thing is very valuable. Wang Yan didn't plan to sell too many, to avoid attracting attention. He reached under the desk and took out a piece of dark stone, then placed it on the table. Wearing a pair of glasses, he picked up a piece of gold to examine its color, and then asked Wang Yan, "Sir, may I try testing this?" Wang Yan didn't refuse. He gave a slight nod, and after getting Wang Yan's approval, Lan Shan took the gold and scratched it on the testing stone. Sure enough, a yellowish mark appeared. Very pure. Wang Yan then spoke at this moment. "How much silver can I exchange for these?" Lan Shan carefully set the gold down, noticing Wang Yan was interested in trading, and then quoted a price. 1 gold for 100 silver. If you want to exchange, our jewelry shop charges only a 10% fee. So, 1 gold for 90 silver. How does that sound? Wang Yan nodded slowly. The price was reasonable, so he said, "All right, let's exchange now." Lan Shan didn't dare delay and weighed the gold. Each piece was exactly 500 grams, worth 10,000 silver coins. After deducting a 10% fee, the final price was 9,000 silver coins. The trade system in the middle and lower levels of Wall Yuan was somewhat chaotic. Since there was no clear currency system, most people used silver. They usually divided silver into very small pieces, about 10 grams each, which was the standard 1 silver in transactions. However, due to Wall Yuan's special terrain and difficult transportation, the actual purchasing power was somewhat reduced. This led to situations where small beast girls could only exchange 1 silver for a single potato. Lan Shan didn't keep Wang Yan waiting long. Soon, Lan Yu came upstairs and whispered a few words into Lan Shan's ear. Lan Shan then said, "Total of 9,000 silver coins, all prepared for you, sir. Please follow me." Wang Yan nodded slowly and followed the 2 people downstairs. At this moment, a small wooden box was quietly resting on the counter. Wang Yan reached out and opened it. Over 1,000 silver coins were neatly stacked inside. He only glanced at it, confirmed everything was correct, then with a thought, the wooden box was stored in his warehouse. Seeing Wang Yan's careful handling, Lanshan was slightly surprised and lowered her head even more, not daring to say much. Wang Yan's goal here was to exchange for silver. Since the task was done, there was no need to stay longer. Without looking back, he pulled Ying Luo and left the jewelry shop. Wang Yan dragged Ying Luo's body through some dark, quiet alleys. After turning a few corners, he took off his cloak and also removed Ying Luo's collar. However, when Wang Yan saw Ying Luo's expression, he couldn't help but ask, "What exactly are you disappointed about?" After the collar was taken off, Ying Luo's fox ears drooped. She whispered softly into Wang Yan's ear, "Master, can you put it back on me tonight?" "Okay." Wang Yan's face darkened like a pot. That girl probably unlocked some strange habit. He didn't bother to respond to her. He rolled up his sleeve and wiped her face, then let her out. Now that they had money, they needed to buy some goods to take back. The first place they visited was the tea shop that sold the warm sun tea. After all, a performance should be complete. Although Wang Yan wasn't short of secret spiritual sunflowers, it was still good to browse. After asking around, they quickly learned that in Unju City, there was only one place that sold warm sun tea, located in the corner of the inner city, called Yudufa Tea House. The Yudufa Tea House was quite remote. It took a while to find the entrance. The two slowly opened the door. Inside, there weren't many customers, just a few scattered people sitting on tatama mats, drinking tea and chatting. All of them had pointed ears and big tails. If someone didn't know better, they might think it was a fox den. When the door opened, the shopkeeper came forward. She was tall and very curvy, a black-furred fox girl. Her sandy yellow hair was tied in front, and her white-tipped yellow tail playfully swayed. She held a smoking pipe in her hand, walking with a lively, flowing motion that was hard to look away from. The woman's lips shimmered with a moist shine, and as she spoke, her voice was charming and seductive, as if each sound was stirring every part of Wang Yan's body. "Welcome, guests, to the Yudufa Tea House. May I ask what you'd like to drink?" Zhu Yu, Shihu Fox Clan age, 46 favorability, 0 talent, armor protection skills, social skills, beauty, keen hearing, sharp eyesight, sun's blessing. Tough. Wang Yan looked at the status bar in front of him and fell into thought. The fox-eared woman held a smoking pipe and greeted them warmly. When she saw the new Fox Clan members, her tail wagged happily. She circled Ying Luo twice, making a clicking sound on the ground. This child is a spirit born. No, wait. It seems to have some bloodline from the Yulin clan." The tea house owner, very familiar, playfully lifted Ying Luo's tail and looked at Wang Yan with a meaningful gaze, saying, "Girlfriend? You're quite lucky." The fox-eared woman kept talking casually, which made Ying Luo blush a little. She silently pulled away her hand and hid behind Wang Yan. Only Wang Yan was allowed to touch her tail. This woman was so rude. Seeing that his wife seemed a bit shy, Wang Yan slightly curled his lips and said to the fox-eared woman, "We came here to see how the shiri tea is sold. Show us around." "Oh." Shihu took a puff from her pipe and then exhaled a long stream of smoke, saying to the two, "Has this child awakened? I didn't expect that. Hee, follow me. I'll show you." She swayed her hips and took long strides, leading the two toward a table. She first heated some water at a nearby stove and let them sit side by side. She then rested her chin, watching them with interest. "Let's start with a self-introduction. My name is Shihu, and I own this tea house. It's been a long time since a new Fox Clan member has come to Unju City. But judging by your outfits, you're from the lower levels?" Wang Yan nodded lightly, confirming her observation. "That's really impressive. The common spirit seed itself is hard to awaken, and there are also some bloodlines of the Yulin species. Even in this situation, it can still awaken. You are quite talented, little one." Hearing Shihu's words, Wang Yan thought for a moment and then asked her with his doubts, "Boss, what are these common spirit seeds and Yulin species you just mentioned?" Shihu seemed to be momentarily stunned. Then she couldn't help but giggle, her laughter like waves rolling. It was quite eye-catching. She leaned her upper body on the table, her shape changing slightly. One hand supported her cheek, and her charming eyes fixed on Wang Yan, making him a bit mesmerized. She said with interest, "Should I say you're innocent, or just a bit slow? Asking such basic questions so straightforwardly. It's clear you're a newcomer who hasn't experienced much. If you encounter a bad woman, you might get eaten up completely." Wang Yin didn't care much about these things. It didn't matter if others knew he was inexperienced. He had asked Zhua Hua before. Since gaining the Dragon Descendant title from Alu, his strength had reached a terrifying level. Plus, there was that great sword in the warehouse that could be summoned at any time. Wang Yin was now like a humanoid beast, powerful enough to walk freely among the middle and lower levels. Aside from necessary concealment, Wang Yin didn't care much about these issues. For example, now, he was curious about what Shihu was saying, so he wanted to ask. Of course I know that. But since sister looks so beautiful, she clearly isn't a bad woman. I wouldn't be suspicious of her. Shihu's laughter was like silver bells, her voice bright and cheerful. She smiled charmingly, clearly pleased by Wang Yan's words. He, little brother, is really sweet-talking. I love to hear that. Or should I taste? Just how sweet it really is. Shihu teased Wang Yin with her cigarette holder, then chuckled softly and said slowly, there are many types of foxes. Mountain foxes, snow foxes, sand foxes, and so on. Beast-human hybrids are the same. For example, I am a sand spirit of the fox tribe, with dark skin and brown-yellow fur. Shihu raised her charming eyes and glanced at Luo, then said softly, like your little girlfriend, she belongs to the most common fox tribe, called the ordinary spirit type. But she also carries a hint of the desire spirit type. Wang Yin lowered his head, thinking about Shihu's words. The meaning was not hard to understand. Both are fox tribes, but there are some differences, like the distinctions among humans on Earth, black, white, and yellow races. So, what kind of group is the desire spirit type? Hearing Wang Yan's question, Shihu showed a meaningful smile. Not simple. Come closer, and I'll tell you. Wang Yin did as asked, standing up and leaning in. Shihu crossed her legs, breath fragrant like orchids, and whispered in Wang Yan's ear. They are called servants. Wang Yan's eyes widened, almost shouting out loud. He stared at Shihu, feeling a bit stunned, as if he couldn't believe what he heard, thinking he might have misunderstood. Seeing Wang Yan's reaction, Shihu took a puff from her pipe and said calmly, you heard right. It's exactly what it sounds like. The desire spirit type is naturally charming, a group that has desire embedded deep in their bones. They are born to fulfill their own desires. Their physical structures are all designed around this. You could say they can go without food, but they cannot go without satisfying their desires. And Shihu looked meaningfully at Luo, who blushed and lowered her head without speaking, then chuckled softly. Don't you think your little girlfriend is quite strong in some ways? Wang Yin, He also looked at Luo and noticed she seemed to hide her face even more. But this LY has a little bit of the desire spirit bloodline. It won't affect much, just give her some special talents in certain areas, and only you will know what those are. Wang Yin scratched his head awkwardly. Honestly, this was the first time he'd heard about such groups. It seemed that in the wall abyss, this was basic knowledge. No wonder Shihu called him a novice. Shihu took out 3 cups, filled them with dried purple flower petals, and poured hot water into the cups. She then said to the 2 of them, this cup is a gift from my sister to you both. After awakening, the fox tribe can absorb the power from the sunflower spirit to strengthen their abilities. Usually, this is an essential item for foxes. Wang Yin picked up his cup and took a gentle sip. The tea itself didn't have much flavor, just a tiny, subtle sweetness. More than the taste, it was the feeling after drinking. The tea, once swallowed, spread out like a gentle wave, penetrating into every part of the body, bringing warmth all over. At that moment, Wang Yin realized how useful this tea was. When he returned home, he definitely wanted to brew some. After a tiring day, taking a bath and drinking a cup would feel so relaxing. The cover has been changed. I couldn't do anything about the previous one being too dull. Brewing tea is just the basic way to absorb the sunflower spirit. There are other methods too, said Shihu, tapping her pipe. She continued, of course, it can also be dried and mixed with a little seasoning to make bright sun smoke. This version works better than the regular tea. Add a little seasoning. Wang Yin listened and felt uneasy about what might be added. But, in my opinion, those methods are a bit outdated. Not long ago, I developed a new way for the sunflower spirit to be consumed, Shihu said with enthusiasm, raising her voice as if she had something exciting to share. She reached into in the ground, digging around. Wang Yin couldn't help but smirk. Do sisters really love hiding things in such a place? Shihu pulled out a flat, small iron box, looking excited. She opened it and poured out a tiny amount of purple and green powder. She said to the two, I found that mixing a small amount of spirit leaves with this powder, then using a straw. Just as Shihu was about to mention something inappropriate, Wang Yin broke out in a cold sweat. To keep the world stable, he quickly interrupted her. Hey, let's forget about that. We don't need it. Just give us the regular sunflower tea, please. Hearing Wang Yin suddenly interrupt, Shihu looked a bit bored and reluctantly put the small jar back in place, with a face that seemed to say, You don't know good stuff. In fact, this item was more like the nasal that Lord Jing used to smell in the past. Shihu had tinkered with it, but since he had received strict drug prohibition education, Wang Yin naturally hated this kind of thing and couldn't accept similar items. Hey, this stuff hits harder than smoking Yaoyang cigarettes directly. What a pity. Wang Yin forced an awkward smile, as if he hadn't heard her, and hurried to pay the bill. A tea bag for 1 day's use costs 6 silver coins. A month's supply would be 180 silver coins. Wang Yin reached into his backpack, took out the corresponding silver, and bought the tea bags, thinking to leave this place quickly. Shihu leaned against the doorframe, exhaling a thin cloud of smoke, and smiled at Wang Yin. Little brother, remember to come again even though I don't have the bloodline of Yulin. I'm just as good as your little girlfriend. Ying Luo's ears turned slightly red. She grabbed Wang Yan's hand, quickened her steps, and mumbled something under her breath. Bad woman. By night, Wang Yin took Ying Luo to the commercial street of Anju City. After receiving a large sum of money, Wang Yin planned to buy some daily necessities and tools, things that were very much needed. He bought several copies of building trowels, carpentry chisels, wooden rulers, and saws, any tools he might need. He stored them in the warehouse. However, these tools were mostly handmade and not mass-produced, so they were a bit more expensive. Next, he bought various seasonings. Although Wang Yin could currently buy seasoning packs through the system, they still lacked some ingredients, like certain spices, peppercorns, bay leaves, star anise, and so on. These were things Wang Yin didn't have yet, so he needed to bring some back. Then, the two of them went to a seed shop. Wang Yin bought all kinds of seeds without much choice, mostly common fruits and vegetables. Nothing too rare. But there were 2 items that caught Wang Yan's interest, chili peppers and soybeans. These were the things he had been longing for, and he finally found them. Chili peppers are such a powerful ingredient that a single plant can define an entire cuisine. Its strength is well known. As for soybeans, they are incredibly versatile with many uses. There is a saying that ancient Eastern and Western cultures followed very different culinary paths, one with dairy, the other with soybeans. Westerners have perfected the use of dairy products, while ancient Chinese cuisine excelled in preparing soybeans. A small soybean can be pressed for oil, ground into paste, or fermented. Its potential is vast. Wang Yan's storage couldn't hold many more items. After buying some necessary supplies, he went to a clothing store. Since he was there, he decided to buy decent clothes for his family. However, these clothes were quite expensive. After purchasing a set for each family member, the total spent on clothes alone exceeded 2,000 silver coins. Fortunately, Wang Yan's money was abundant, so he didn't worry about the cost. Buying clothes for his wives was not a loss. After all, he was the one enjoying it. The big fox happily came out of the fitting room, dressed in a light blue sailor suit that highlighted her graceful figure. Seeing her, it was like a gentle breeze, full of youthful energy. How do I look? Am I pretty? Ying Luo tilted her feet, her bright green eyes sparkling. She spun around in front of Wang Yin, happy like a little child. Very cute. Wang Yin gave her the highest compliment, but Ying Luo didn't seem entirely satisfied with that answer. Just cute. Super cute. The big fox couldn't help but giggle, laughing softly. She stepped closer and hugged Wang Yin around the waist, her soft cheeks rubbing against his chest, her pinkish-gray tail swaying left and right. You should be the cutest in the world, right? As they got older, Wang Yin found it harder to resist such flirtation from a beautiful girl. After paying the cashier, he packed up all the clothes. Ying Luo's sailor suit was temporarily for her to wear. Almost everything was bought. Night had fallen, and tomorrow morning, Wang Yin would take Ying Luo home. They ate some food at a busy street, and then found a hotel outside the city to rest for the night. Yingluo was visiting such a far place for the first time in her life. She leaned by the window, watching the gradually thinning crowd outside. The city guards had already arrived at the riverbank and were starting to clear the people away to keep them safe from strange beasts. Everything in front of her was new and strange. Her bright green eyes looked at the quiet night sky, the flickering streetlights, and the sleeping cloud whale. All of this was something she had never experienced before. Wang Yin, Yingluo whispered softly, as if talking to herself. The outside world is so wonderful, she said softly. Wang Yin gently put his arm around her waist. His tail moved as if it had a mind of its own, rubbing against his arm. Hee, this is just the beginning. When we grow older, whether it's the middle or top levels, we will go see everything together, yes. Also, I want to ask everyone about something. Many readers seem to like Beast Girl characters. But there are so many types, if I include them all, it might become 100 different kinds. So, I want to know what you think about the idea of only eating but not collecting these characters. Editing in progress, still editing. Continuing editing, they hugged and kissed. Yingluo suddenly felt something and instinctively let out a soft cry. Good dreams and peaceful sleep. The next morning, Wang Yin and Yingluo prepared to go home. Before leaving, Wang Yin thought about bringing some gifts for his little beast girl friends. After some thought, he decided that sweets would be best. He wandered around the outside city and finally found a bakery. Wang Yin pushed open the oak door. The bell on the door jingled softly, and soon a young woman came out to greet him. When Wang Yin saw her for the first time, he felt a strange sense of familiarity. That feeling of comfort was like a caring older sister soothing his heart. Mou Cow Tribe Age. 24 Favorability. 20 Talent. Healing Magic Specialty. Expert in Cooking. Gentle Personality. Large Build. Skilled in Medicine. Ding. Unlocked Cow Tribe Profile. Gain Passive Effect. Master of Medicine. New items unlocked. Shop updated. The young woman wore a simple long dress, with a slightly yellowed apron tied around her waist. She had small, cute horns on her head. She looked kind and smiled warmly. The most eye-catching thing was her impressive figure, clearly showing she belonged to the cow tribe. Hello, two guests. Welcome to Little Cow Bakery. What would you like to buy? Wang Yin was momentarily stunned, looking a bit dazed. It was as if some non-existent memories suddenly appeared in his mind. He shook his head hard and said to Mou, have we met before? Mou's finger rested on her lips as she tried to recall, but in the end, she just shook her head helplessly. Sir, to be honest, I also have this feeling, but after thinking carefully, I realize I don't have any memories related to you. Maybe. We just met by chance a long time ago? Long ago. Wang Yin felt a bit confused. He suddenly remembered that he had only been in this world for a few months. How could he have seen any other beast girls besides the little beast girl family? It seemed like he was just trying to strike up a conversation. Wang Yin awkwardly smiled, thinking that Mou was just being polite. He changed the subject and chatted with her for a while. He picked some bread, dried fruit, and cookies, enough for a big bag. Only then did he say goodbye to Mou. Looking at his expenses, he realized he had spent nearly 5,000 silver coins since last night. He couldn't help but feel amazed. Money really was easy to spend. With a quick thought, Wang Yin packed all the small and large bags in his arms into the system space. Since leaving the small bakery, he looked a bit worried. The familiar feeling made him keep recalling. Who exactly is she? At this moment, Yingluo tugged on Wang Yan's sleeve and suddenly said, Wang Yin, that sister just now. Actually, I also feel a bit familiar with her. Yeah, the first time I saw her, I inexplicably liked her. It's like she's my big sister. Wang Yin was confused. He thought feeling familiar might be just his imagination. Both of them felt it, so maybe there was something wrong. But even together, they couldn't figure out where they had seen her before. After thinking for a long time with no result, Yingluo tilted her head and said to Wang Yin, next time we come back, let's go find that big sister again. Okay, they decided that next time they visit, they would look for her again. Maybe if they thought carefully, they could remember something about her. After a small interruption, Wang Yin arrived at the port. He wanted to ask which cloud whales were heading to the lower levels so he could hitch a ride. As for finding his home, Wang Yin wasn't worried. He had connected with Xiao Ji through the machine control center. Xiao Ji's location could be sensed, so he just needed to send him to the lower level. With his sensing ability, Xiao Ji could find the way home. However, Wang Yin asked several merchants, but none of them were heading to the lower levels. The reason was that the lower levels were too poor, and no one wanted to go there. This made Wang Yin stuck. Without a ride, he would be in trouble. Just when he was at a loss, a merchant told him that if he was in a hurry, he could go to the far east of the port. There, they sold flying fish, and he could ask about the price. If cloud whales are like heavy trucks in the transportation system, then flying fish are small, convenient private cars. If they don't carry anything else, 2 people riding a flying fish would be enough to go back comfortably. Hearing this, Wang Yin immediately became interested. Yes, he still has 4,000 left. If the price is reasonable, he can buy a flying fish, which would be very convenient. At least, traveling in the future won't be so troublesome. He quickly thanked the other person. Wang Yin held Ing Luo's hand and went to the place the trader had pointed out. It was at the corner of the port, where a few tired-looking flying fish were docked. There was no sign or notice. If Wang Yin hadn't been reminded by the trader, he might not have found this place. An old man sitting on a lounge chair squinted his eyes. The morning sun was gentle, and the old man seemed to be sleeping, with soft snoring sounds coming from his nose. "Grandpa, wake up. We're here to see your flying fish." The old man was suddenly awakened by Wang Yin. He was a bit grumpy, but since they came to see the flying fish, he couldn't look unfriendly. He just hummed and said calmly, "This one, and that one, 6,000. The biggest one is 8,000. You can choose yourself." In the Wallabies, only middle and upper-class people could afford to buy flying fish as transportation. Most middle and lower-class travelers relied on traders or special cloud whale services, which were more affordable. If they wanted to buy, they wouldn't do it here. There are more professional flying fish training centers in the middle-class area, where the quality of flying fish is better, unlike these tired-looking ones in front of him. Wang Yin heard that even the cheapest ones started at 6,000. He couldn't believe it. These things are so expensive? He couldn't afford that. Grandpa, can you give me a discount? I can only pay 3,000 right now. Could you please consider it?" The old man continued lying on the lounge, speaking slowly. "Young man, you don't seem to know much about this. Do you know why flying fish are so expensive? A flying fish that can listen to commands and be ridden needs to be trained from a young age. It takes at least 5 years of tame training to become a proper mount." Indeed, the old man was right. Wang Yin hadn't thought of this. As a mount, it definitely requires years of training, especially for a flying mount. It must be very difficult to tame. "Young man, don't think the price is too high. In Unju City, I am the only fish trainer left. These flying fish are all old friends of mine. So, I've already given you a discount. I can't lower the price anymore." Wang Yin let out a sigh, feeling stuck and helpless. But then, the old man's next words suddenly woke him up. "Over the years, I've counted all my grain and effort. If I can catch the fish and ride them, why not just go directly to the port where the fishing boats return every day and buy from there? That's no big deal, right?" The old man still seemed eager to promote his flying fish, but his words made Wang Yin realize the truth. Flying fish are expensive because they are tamed and bred. Wild flying fish are not worth much. However, Wang Yin's system shop has good items he can use. Thinking of this, Wang Yin couldn't help but smile a little. "No, I must not laugh now. I have to hold it in." Wang Yin and the old man exchanged a few regretful words and then hurriedly left. If an animal is used as a mount, its price includes feed, training, and other extra costs. But if it's caught directly from the wild, the cost is just the price of capturing it, so the price is naturally lower. Wang Yin took Ing Luo back to the port. He heard that the fishing boats only return in the morning each day, and then fish vendors set up stalls to sell their catch. Some restaurant owners come to buy ingredients. Sure enough, when Wang Yin returned, he saw people already gathering there. Once he confirmed these people were waiting for the fishing boats to come back, Wang Yin relaxed and waited with everyone. Soon, a whale's cry sounded, and the fishing boat slowly entered the port. The main body of the boat was still a cloud whale, but it seemed to be a different type from the usual cargo cloud whales. This cloud whale looked more slender, probably bred for speed to chase fish in the clouds and sea. The cloud whale slowly approached the shore. The captain hurried down from the deck, sweating on his forehead, and quickly spoke to the buyers waiting in front. "Everyone, sorry for the delay today. There was a special situation on the fishing boat. Please bear with us. But don't worry, today's catch will be sold at a 10% discount. We apologize for the inconvenience. Although I don't know what happened on the fishing boat, even though the captain apologized and offered a 10% discount, the waiting merchants wouldn't just accept it. Some of the people in front said directly, "This isn't very good, Captain. You're the only fishing boat in Unju City. If we wait a little longer and it gets to mealtime, will we still be able to do business here?" Of course, fish must be fresh, and the captain knew this well. He was sweating nervously and explained, No, I don't want that either. But today, something special happened. When we cast our nets, we accidentally caught a cloud shark. It was hiding among the fish, preparing to hunt. By the time we noticed, it had already been put into the fish hold. Hearing this, the merchants understood what had happened. Some even cursed their bad luck and turned to leave the port. The captain quickly apologized with a smile. "Sorry, everyone. It's our mistake. When we left the boat, I already sent sailors to find help in the inner city. Please give us a little more time." After hearing this, Wang Yin was suddenly surprised. It seemed to work out just as he wanted. He reached out and patted someone nearby on the shoulder, then asked, "Brother, what exactly is a cloud shark?" The man, feeling bored, responded, "First time here, right? It's normal if you don't know. This is a predator from the Sea of Clouds, almost like a fierce beast. But its meat is sour, so not many people like to eat it. If it's caught in the fish hold and not handled carefully, it could hurt someone." Yes, that's it. Wang Yin was looking for exactly this. He asked again, "Brother, how is this usually sold?" The man chuckled softly and shook his head. "This thing has no set price. It's not a fierce beast, so it's in a weird middle ground. Its meat isn't good to eat. It gets caught from time to time, and usually, guards come to open the hold and throw it out. No one would bother buying this for fun." Understanding this, Wang Yin thanked him and quietly whispered a few words to Ing Luo, telling her to stay put and not run around. Wang Yin pushed through the crowd and stepped to the front, facing the anxious captain pacing back and forth. He said, "I can help you take out what's inside that fish storage, but in return, you have to give me that colorful cloud shark. Deal?" Suddenly, someone stepped forward to speak. The worried captain paused slightly, surprised. When he saw the tall young man approaching, he initially wanted to scold him for fooling around. But when he looked into the faint vertical pupils of the young man, he somehow swallowed his words and didn't say anything. If you can get that colorful cloud shark out, we don't really need it. You can do whatever you want with it." Wang Yin smiled lightly and said, "It's settled then. Please take me there." He volunteered to ask the guards to open the cage and drive away the colorful cloud shark. Since they weren't doing charity, they would need to pay. Wang Yin eagerly offered himself. If he could really catch that shark, he would be more than willing. He stepped onto the cloud whale, walking on the wooden deck. The captain led Wang Yin toward the fish storage. Before they reached it, Wang Yin heard the noisy commotion inside, like something huge was crashing around. The captain's heart sank. The fish inside were being smashed, and those were his earnings. Wang Yin curled his lips. This creature seemed quite fierce, but he wasn't afraid of real fierce beasts, so why be afraid of this half-hearted one? With a thought, Wang Yin used 3,500 points from the shop to exchange for a soul contract. With perfect timing, favorable conditions, and the right people, he didn't believe he couldn't capture this colorful cloud shark. Wang Yin told the crew on deck to step back quickly. He then stretched and loosened his muscles. Since he was aiming to tame, not kill, he didn't draw his sword. Instead, he prepared to punch. Since gaining the dragon descendant from Alu, this was Wang Yin's first real fight. Honestly, he only had a vague idea of his strength. He didn't know exactly how powerful he was. Just in time, he decided to test himself against this creature. He slowly pushed open the fish storage door. The restless noise inside seemed to pause for a moment, but it was only brief. Soon after, a bright orange light flashed out, sweeping with a fishy wind, rushing straight at him. Wang Yin reacted quickly and dodged the attack. Only then did he get a clear look at what the colorful cloud shark looked like. It was a shark-like creature about 5 meters long and 1.5 meters tall. Its body was sleek like a shark, but its skin shimmered like a cloud at sunset, glowing with orange light. It didn't look like a typical animal. Instead, it resembled a moving cloud. Wang Yin looked at this fire cloud with some curiosity. It was the first time he had seen a creature in this form. He was about to punch it hard first, and then see what happened. In nature, there are predators that use camouflage well. The most famous is the anglerfish in the ocean, which has a small bait on its head to attract prey. This colorful cloud shark was similar. It used special skin to mimic a cloud, making it almost invisible in the sea of clouds. It blended perfectly with the environment. But compared to Wang Yin, this cloud shark seemed a bit weaker. The fight wasn't as fierce as he expected. It was about a 70-30 split. Wang Yin threw 3 punches, almost cracking the shark's skull. It was that simple. Looking at the shark-like creature, Wang Yin was surprised at how strong he had become. The cloud shark curled up on the deck, dizzy from Wang Yin's punches. It saved Wang Yin a lot of effort. His eyes lit up. Instantly, he activated his soul contract. The shark, still baring its teeth and looking a little stubborn, suddenly became dull and unresponsive. To outsiders, it looked like Wang Yin had easily subdued the cloud shark. It was quite impressive. After a moment of confusion, Wang Yin felt he could control everything about the cloud shark, its life and death, as if he had absolute power over it. The shark seemed to recover and stretched out its fins, startling everyone at the port. Wang Yin raised his hand gently to signal everyone not to panic. To everyone's surprise, the cloud shark crawled forward in a very human way, as if it had willingly submitted. This was very strange. Wang Yin had never seen anything like this before. Could a fierce predator really show submission to a human? However, all of this was just a show that Wang Yin put on for them. He brushed off the dust from his hand and said to the captain, "This colorful shark belongs to me, right?" For a moment, everyone was stunned and a bit confused. It wasn't until Wang Yin spoke again that they snapped back to reality. "Of course, you can take this shark with you. We were just trying to avoid trouble ourselves. Please, accept this gift. You must give us some face. This noon, I will host a good feast for you." Wang Yin wasn't very interested in these social gatherings. He had a family, and being outside all the time might worry his wife. He just shrugged and politely declined. "Sorry, my wife and I need to hurry. We won't need it for now. I'll come back to Unju City another time." Anyone who could fight a fierce-looking, colorful shark with their bare hands would want to make friends with it. When the captain heard Wang Yin refused, he felt a little disappointed. But when he heard the last part, he quickly smiled. "Of course. Come anytime, little brother. You're always welcome here. Thank you for helping me solve today's problem. Next time you come, remember to look for me. I owe you a drink." Wang Yin didn't say much. He just waved his hand and went back to the crowd to find Luo. The colorful shark, surprisingly obedient, followed behind Wang Yin. Everyone else moved aside, afraid to get too close. "Let's go home. Yeah, let's go home." Wang Yin took her hand, jumped onto the shark, and pulled her up with him. This caused another round of surprised shouts. The colorful shark was a fierce beast in the sea of clouds, and making it submit was already impressive. But Wang Yin, he just rode away on it? Wang Yin didn't care about the shock he left behind. His hometown wasn't here, and he might not come back for a while. Maybe in a few days, everyone would forget about him or just see him as a casual chat. Luo tightly held the dorsal fin, while Wang Yin sat behind her. Riding this colorful shark into the clouds was much more exciting than riding a cloud whale. First, this thing has no protection at all. If you're not careful, you could fall off easily. Second, since this colorful cloud shark is only used for riding and not for carrying goods, its falling angle is almost always very steep. It looks like free fall. If you don't have a strong mental state, you really can't ride this creature. The colorful cloud shark is very fast, almost as fast as the cloud whale. It covers the same distance in a day. By evening, Wang Yin finally returned to the lower level. As for how to keep this new mount, Wang Yin has already thought about it. He plans to let it roam freely. Since he has a soul contract with it, he can summon it just by thinking about it, which is very convenient. When he entered the cave, Wang Yin noticed that the atmosphere at home seemed a bit strange. Usually, around mealtime, someone would be cooking, but now everyone seemed to be gathered inside the house. Bai Guo was holding little Cake's hand and carrying little Rice on her back. She looked anxious as she looked into the house. Wang Yin sensed something was wrong and quickly asked her what had happened. Seeing Wang Yin return, Bai Guo seemed to find a sense of security and hurriedly said, "Master, you're finally back. You and Miss just left not long ago." When Squeak Miss went out, she discovered a new tribe nearby. Lady Zhuohua wanted to negotiate with Miss Yoli, but they attacked her directly. She was hurt. Wang Yin almost shouted out loud. Without waiting for her to say more, he hurried inside. As soon as he entered, Wang Yin saw Squeak and Huaiwa sitting by the bed, looking worried. On the bed lay Zhuohua and Yoli. Zhuohua was in better shape because, being from the Salamander clan, her injuries would heal gradually. She just looked a bit pale. Yoli's condition was worse. Her left leg had a long, cut wound on the scales, which were curled up. She also had several bruises, as if something heavy had fallen on her. Seeing this scene, Wang Yan's anger boiled over. But he reminded himself to stay calm first. He must stay calm and tend to Yoli's wounds before doing anything else. Zhuohua slowly opened her eyes. Seeing Wang Yin return, she instinctively smiled slightly and wanted to get up to greet him. However, Wang Yin quickly pressed her down, telling her to rest well. Wang Yin, you're back? Wang Yin gently touched her face, feeling a twinge of pain in his heart. Rest well. I'm back now. I'll handle everything. Zhuohua seemed to understand what Wang Yin was thinking. She saw that they were both injured and felt both angry and worried. She slightly lifted the corner of her mouth and said mysteriously, "You don't really think we went out and suffered a loss, do you?" At first, Wang Yin was surprised by her words. But the more he thought about it, the more suspicious he became. Wait, are they the two strongest fighters at home? If they truly wanted to negotiate, why did they bring Yu Li, this little quiet one? It seems Zhuohua was always aiming to fight and win. After learning about their achievements for the day, Wang Yin was somewhat relieved. Out of a tribe of 20 people, only 8 remained after being killed by the two of them. The other 8 ran away, and Zhuohua didn't chase after them. Haha, it turns out they were the ones attacking first. Look at how things have turned out. But Wang Yin still felt some concern and worry. Yuli was genuinely injured. Seeing her beautiful scales on her leg all curled up made Wang Yin feel heartbroken. He ordered Bai Guo to boil some hot water to help clean Yuli's wounds. Mo had unlocked a healing talent for Wang Yin. He was confident in his skills for treating wounds, reaching the level of a professional doctor. Since there was no alcohol at home for disinfection, he used boiled, sterilized cloth to wipe her wounds carefully. After cleaning the bruised blood, he bandaged her and gave her a dose of ibuprofen. She should recover soon. Next time something like this happens, wait for me to come back, understand? Wang Yan's words sounded like reproach, but his concern was obvious. Zhuohua waved her hand and explained the reason behind her actions, which made him understand why she chose to attack directly and fight. According to her, the group that came near her home was a tribe called the Flame Demon Clan. This tribe has a bad reputation in the underground world. Unlike other races, they only have small settlements in the lower layers and leave no traces on the upper layers. Even the lowest goblins can find some merchants in the upper layers, but the flame demons have none. Their strength and rarity are quite remarkable. The flame demons are generally weak in body. They have red or yellow skin and can breathe fire, but they have no other special skills. Despite being so weak, they have their own way of survival. They keep moving in the lower layers, attacking and stealing from others. Information in the lower layers is limited, so when people see this strange race moving nearby, they usually don't think much and may be caught off guard by their sudden attack. However, Zhuohua and her friends are different from the unaware lower layer people. They have been in the middle and upper layers and know how these raiders operate. So, when Zhuohua heard from Squeaky about the arrival of these people, she immediately grabbed her axe and led Yoli to fight them, giving the flame demons no chance. At this moment, Yoli was slowly waking up. She watched Wang Yin carefully bandage her wounds, her cheeks turning slightly red. Wang Yin glanced at her with some annoyance and said, "Why didn't you remember to wear your shield belt?" Yoli scratched her head. At that moment, Huaiwa quickly came over and explained to Wang Yin. "Wang Yin, Sister Yoli gave me her belt because she wanted to keep us safe when Zhuohua said she was going to fight." Wang Yin rubbed her forehead, feeling a bit speechless. She reached out and tapped each of their foreheads. "You little fools, did you forget what you have at home? The one who feeds Alu rice." It seems so. A dragon girl who only eats and sleeps turned over in her grass nest, unaware of what was happening. Maybe because Alu always shows only her lazy side, eating and sleeping. Everyone overlooked her true identity. Or perhaps her appearance is too harmless, so no one paid much attention to her. Even though this creature is so powerful that no one dares to challenge it, even at the top levels, at the very bottom, the little beast girl's home is probably the safest place. Yuli was worried and confused. Wang Yin didn't know what to say, so he just told everyone to be more careful in the future. Besides Yuli being slightly injured, Zhuohua only needed to eat more to recover. At mealtime, Wang Yin decided to let everyone eat first and wait until tomorrow morning to deal with everything else. After going upstairs, Wang Yin animatedly told the little beast girls about his experiences. When he mentioned taming a colorful cloud shark, he seemed interested. Did you two really ride back on a colorful cloud shark? Of course. Tomorrow, I'll take you to see it. That thing flies so fast. The family had a simple dinner. Then Wang Yin took out gifts for his family, beautiful clothes. The clothes of the salamander race are usually small cheongsams. Wang Yin chose a white one with a peach blossom pattern. For Huaiwei and Zizi, he bought two simple but decent little Western-style dresses, matching their personalities, one red, the other black. As for Yuli's clothes, Wang Yin picked loose-fitting items, a pair of shorts and a leather vest. Since Yuli's scales can be considered clothing and also serve as armor, her clothing options are limited. So he chose these. Yuli had some injuries, so Wang Yin didn't let her change clothes. When the little beast girls changed into their new outfits and stood neatly in front of him, honestly, it was quite a sight. However, it seemed some of them weren't very well behaved. A 54-year-old lowly salamander winked at him, and her two small buns looked very tempting under the cheongsam. Zhuohua, Zai, Wang Yin temporarily suppressed his impulse. He took out some bread and cookies he bought from Moyu. Sweets are very rare and precious to the little beast girls. Their eyes lit up, especially the little red-haired girl, who looked like she wanted to stuff her cheeks full. Wang Yin was momentarily speechless. Could she be a hamster? By chance, Wang Yin saw a small figure hiding behind Bai Gua. He smiled slightly and waved at the little cake. Come here. The little cake didn't expect Wang Yin to suddenly call her. Feeling a bit shy, she peeked out from behind her mother and slowly walked over, fiddling with her fingers. Wang Yin quickly picked up the small girl and placed her on her lap. With a gentle thought, a small cream cake about the size of a palm appeared in front of her. I bought this for you. Eat it quickly. The little cake looked at the small cake in front of her and, upon hearing Wang Yan's words, was momentarily surprised. Does she also get a share? She raised her big, watery eyes and carefully held the cream cake with her small hands, shyly asking Wang Yan, Can I take this back to eat, sir? Take it back to eat. Wang Yan glanced at her, understanding her meaning immediately. He smiled and nodded. Of course you can. The little cake happily ran towards Bai Gua, holding the cream cake high. Mommy, eat first. Her sister had gone far away, so she needed to become more sensible and considerate of her mother. Mom usually had to take care of her younger sister, which was already very tiring. That was what the little cake thought. A sensible girl is always more likable, especially a tiny little mouse girl like her. She quickly attracted the attention of a few young beast girls who fed her treats. Even the most gluttonous, Squeak, picked her up happily and shared his cookies. Having received gifts, the girls gathered around Ing Luo, asking questions. Meanwhile, Zhuohua casually approached Wang Yan, her chi-pao revealing half of her pink legs. She rested her chin on her hand, smiling, and said to Wang Yan, buying us such pretty clothes, but it seems a bit inconvenient to work in them. It's not like you're supposed to wear them while working. Huh? Zhuohua let out a soft sound, then leaned her head toward Wang Yan, teasingly. When do we wear them? Indeed, older women are more flirtatious. Wang Yan's face turned red, and he looked away, pretending not to understand. Of course, when the work is done, women love to look beautiful. After all, Zhuohua covered her mouth, teasingly. Huh? I thought you said you were wearing it when you went to the countryside. Wang Yan was speechless for a moment. It seemed like this guy was a bit reckless, always provoking him. He's not someone easy to deal with either. Does he really think he's made of clay? I think you just want it. Huh? With that, Wang Yan carried Zhuohua and headed outside. Squeaking, the little one tilted her head and saw their strange actions. She said to her sisters, It's so late. Why are Wang Yan and sister Zhuohua going out? Yuli yes. Ing Luo. Huayu. Didn't we talk about this before, meow? Squeaking. Maybe, I forgot to. Supporting herself against the rock wall with both hands, her smooth white silk wrapped around each delicate toe. Under the gentle moonlight, she looked like two white chocolates, softly lifting her foot, her arch curved like a crescent moon. Her pink tail looked restless, unable to hide her nervousness. Earlier, Wang Yin had pulled out a piece of white silk during a lottery. It was part of a pair of half-leg stockings, with a small tear somewhere. Don't ask where. That's for you to figure out. Wang Yin didn't think much of it, and kept it in his storage. Today, he bought new clothes for Zhuohua, so she could try them on. This white silk was of the half-leg stocking style, with a small tear. As for where, don't ask, figure it out yourself. Wang Yin was caught off guard, and Zhuohua became the one feeling down. Her pink eyes flickered with unease, and she suddenly started to back out. Wang Yin, it's so late. We might run into some fierce beasts outside, right? Maybe. We should go back first. Wang Yin sneered. Now she's afraid? Where did that experience look go just now? If she wants to run, it's too late. Don't worry. I've already released the colorful cloud shark into the sea of clouds below our feet. If any strange beast comes, it will take care of itself. No worries. Until that strange feeling filled her heart again, Zhuohua's delicate cry broke free from her throat. The whole night, the sounds of birds and swallows echoed endlessly until the moon rose to the treetops. A good night's sleep, one-sided. The next day, Wang Yin woke up early. Although Zhuohua and Yuli didn't suffer any losses, Yuli was actually injured. This couldn't be ignored. So he decided to ride the colorful cloud shark and follow the wall to find the fleeing flame demon clan to send them some warmth. A whistle sounded, and Wang Yin then leapt down, falling off an endless cliff. Suddenly, a cloud of red mist seemed to come alive, lifting Wang Yin up and carrying him swiftly forward. Not long after, Wang Yin saw a cleared camp. It was probably the place where the fire demon clan was located, as mentioned by Zhuohua. He directed the Tsiluan shark toward the target and jumped down to the ground. The camp didn't seem to have been abandoned for long. Some temporary shelters were barely started, and others had been destroyed by Zhuohua and Ing Luo. In the middle of the camp, there were many dead bodies. Some had been eaten by wild animals, with guts spilled everywhere, and a foul smell filled the air. Wang Yin frowned and crouched down to examine the bodies. There were 12 corpses in total. The fire demons had red or yellow skin, with matching hair colors. They had 2 small horns on their foreheads and slender bodies, like small demons from Western myths. Wang Yin circled the camp twice and found a large sack. He didn't know what was inside, so he cut it open with his knife. Several black pieces of meat slid out. They looked like dried black meat. At first, it was hard to tell what kind of meat it was, but Wang Yin soon found a withered, knuckle-sized hand and a completely unrecognizable rat skull among the meat. Fire demons dislike cold weather, so how did they survive the long winter? It's simple, by eating people. When the rat fruit city fell, many rats like the white fruit family were forced to flee. Some had relatives and went to seek refuge with them, but the white fruit family, being without support, had to wander outside. If Wang Yin and his team hadn't arrived, perhaps this bag would have contained the white fruit family too. Although Wang Yin could handle the psychological stress, seeing that dried skull made him feel uneasy. He carefully examined the camp again, but found nothing more. With a sigh, he looked around helplessly. It seems no one is left. Then, Wang Yin sat back on the Tsiluan shark, ready to move forward and see if he could catch the fleeing fire demons. The strange clouds gradually dispersed, and Wang Yan's figure disappeared into the sky. After a long while, a red head slowly peeked out. Only after confirming that Wang Yin had left did it wave its hand behind it, signaling everyone to follow. Yes, this group of fire demons has returned. No one expected that, even after most of them were killed, these fire demons would dare to come back. But they shouldn't be overestimated. Only half of them escaped. They were hungry and remembered there was food at the camp, so they hurried back. Currently, only 8 female fire demons remain. The males were all killed during the fight. The leader is a red-skinned fire demon with orange hair. She is the smartest among them, and everyone follows her lead. People have left. Quickly grab the food. In the distant sky, the colorful cloud shark hid among the clouds. Wang Yin watched a few fire demons returning to take food, and a slight smile appeared on his face. That's more like it. These fire demons are useless at everything else. When they run away, they have no food, so they will definitely come back to get supplies. It's no wonder he hid here for over half an hour. It saved him a lot of effort. Wang Yin carefully counted the number of people, and sure enough, there were exactly 8. No more, no less. Everyone was present. At first, Wang Yin thought that Zhuohua had been a bit too harsh, killing most of them in one go. But when he saw the dried mice in the sack, he could only say one thing. The fire demons deserved their fate. Indeed, these women were after those bags of dried meat. Seeing this, Wang Yin no longer hid. He raised his broad sword from the sky and struck down, cutting one fire demon in half with a single. This was the first time Wang Yin had killed someone since he was young, and he did so very cruelly, splitting the body in two. The internal organs and blood spilled everywhere, filling the air with a bloody smell. But perhaps he had become numb, or for some other reason, Wang Yin only furrowed his brow slightly and didn't show much disgust. He only knew that these people were no good. If his strength wasn't enough, then maybe the bags contained Jing Luo, Ying, Zhuohua. Killing them was only deserved. Without hesitation, Wang Yin acted like a fierce beast. His broad sword was like a meat grinder, combined with his fierce strength. The blade clashed with flesh and blood, melting away as if hot iron had been plunged into snow, disappearing instantly without any resistance. The group of fire demons suddenly saw a large sword heading straight for their faces. Before they could react, 2 of them were already dead. They were extremely shocked. That person, had he already left? Why is he back so suddenly? Without time to think, the unexpected appearance of this powerful man scared everyone so much they started to run in different directions. 2 of the foolish ones ran the wrong way and fell straight down, as if they were free-falling. After Wang Yan's fierce attack, those who died and those who tried to escape were all gone. Soon, only 2 fire demons remained. Wang Yin looked around, whistled, and a shark-shaped cloud shot out from the sea of clouds, blocking their escape routes. Lupia, Fire Demon Age, 19 Favorability, -100 Talent, Fire-breathing skills, High-temperature resistance, Red skin, Aggressive, Poor at planting, Poor at animal husbandry, Poor at building ding. Unlocked Fire Demon Profile Passive Effect unlocked, High-temperature resistance. New items available in the shop, updated now. Wow. Wang Yin just opened the status panel, and those 3 useless traits were clearly displayed in front of him. He almost couldn't hold back his laughter. Fortunately, the items he received weren't overly powerful. In fact, the most useful one made him breathe a little easier. Wang Yin didn't give the 2 fire demons much chance to escape. He quickly stepped forward, grabbed their necks, and held them tightly. Originally, Wang Yin wanted to eliminate these 2 completely, but the items the fire demons had exploded made him change his mind. Collar. 2,000 points. This collar can turn a wise creature into a completely helpless. It has 2 functions. First, if they resist the owner, the collar releases a shock that can knock them out. Second, the owner can remotely control the collar to release blades inside, which can quickly decapitate the in 0.1 seconds. Wang Yan's lips curled into a slight smile. This was truly a good item. He thought for a moment and exchanged the collar from the system, buying 2 of them. He put one on each of the 2 fire demon women. Soon, the collars looked like iron chains, tightly locking around their necks. Wang Yin could clearly feel through his mind that these collars were so dangerous that just a slight movement could cause them to be decapitated. A cold iron collar was placed around her neck, causing a slight choking sensation. The 2 fiery demon women screamed in fear, claws scratching wildly at the collar, desperately trying to remove it. Wang Yin watched this scene with a cold gaze. One of the women, showing her teeth like a mad creature, lunged forward. But before Wang Yin could act, the collar emitted a terrifying shock, knocking her unconscious. The only remaining demon woman, named Lupi, looked at the scene with terror on her face. Wang Yin glanced at her, a sudden idea flashing in his mind. He smiled faintly, snapped his fingers, and with a humming sound, the stunned demon's collar quickly closed. Her head was swiftly cut off. A horrifying scene unfolded before Lupi. Her fear of the collar deepened, and her legs went weak. Overwhelmed by terror, her mind nearly broke down. Wang Yin nodded slightly. He took off the bloodstained collar and stored it in his warehouse. He had only been experimenting, but he didn't expect it to work so well. Maybe he could catch more in the future. If he had slaves, they could work outside the caves. Anyway, he wouldn't feel bad if they died. He crouched down and looked at the woman lying on the ground, smiling harmlessly. He slowly spoke to her. From now on, you will be mine. If you dare to resist, your partner will face the same fate. Wang Yin grabbed her hair. Honestly, he had no good feelings toward this race. He stared at Lupi and continued. If you understand me, just nod. If not, I might have to cut off your head too. Lupi felt a cold shiver down her spine, her eyes full of fear. She kept nodding quickly and begged. Master, Master, I understand. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Trying to prove her worth, the demon woman quickly unfastened her animal hide, revealing her bright red body. She lay back and opened herself up, moving smoothly without any hesitation. Wang Yin. Although this thing isn't very good at working, it can still be considered a person. If necessary, it can wear a leather armor, carry an iron spear, and with the fire-breathing ability of the flame demon tribe, it can serve as a frontline soldier. Soon, Wang Yin brought the exposed-skinned Lopia home, but he didn't take her into the cave. His plan was to place these slaves outside the cave, since the space outside is large and can be used well. When the small beast girls at home learned that Wang Yin had caught a flame demon woman, they all gathered around out of curiosity. Zhuohua looked at the downcast flame demon woman with some worry and unease, and said, Wang Yin, these flame demons are all bad news. You're bringing her back, aren't you afraid? Wang Yin confidently waved his hand, grabbed Zhuohua's hand, and pressed her thumb at the back of the collar. Instantly, a strange feeling flooded Zhuohua's mind. Wang Yin said mysteriously, Want to try? Try what? Zhuohua didn't understand and didn't get what Wang Yin meant, but she seemed to have a certain connection to the collar. So, don't shock me. Don't shock me. Hey, it's fun, Zhuohua said this. I think everyone might have some misconceptions. Since we're dealing with fringe topics, how could there be saints? Next, I plan to introduce some basic gameplay from Fringe Worlds. Hope I won't get banned. Several small beast girls were given authorization, even by Gua. After taking turns a few times, Lopia was already convulsing from the shocks, foam dripping from her mouth. Wang Yin, she seems to be dying, meow. Why you held Wang Yan's arm, looking a bit uneasy. Wang Yin shrugged indifferently and said, If she's dead, just throw her away. Hearing Wang Yin might throw her away, Lopia used all her strength, curled her fingers, and stiffly climbed up, trembling all over, but still muttering unclear words. I am still alive, don't throw me away. Wang Yin was amused and laughed. Oh, the Electric King is here. I didn't expect this fire demon clan to be quite resistant to electricity. Wang Yin was very pleased. It's good that they are hard to kill. That's the right way to think. After settling this fire demon clan member, Wang Yin casually built a simple grass shelter for her. As for food, he gave her whatever was available. If there was nothing left, she would just go hungry. Anyway, with a Lu around, there's usually not much leftover food at home. Lupia wants to eat well, but that's very difficult. Since a Lu came to the house, it's like a force field that keeps away fierce beasts. You can't even see a shadow of a beast. So, the only danger outside is from strange animals attacking. According to Zhuohua, attacks from strange animals are related to how many people gather. The more people there are, the stronger the beasts that come. But right now, there aren't many people at home. Since spring this year, the attacks have weakened a lot. Usually, only 3 or 4 small dog-headed creatures come at night, and they aren't very dangerous. So, Wang Yin moved some work outside, like the spinning wheel, the drying rack, and the smoking rack. Since he bonded with Xiao Ji, this machine girl has been weaving cloth for him. Now she has accumulated quite a bit. Since she's a machine, wild animals wouldn't bother attacking her without reason. It's also a good chance for her to go outside and watch Lupia. Usually, the little beast girl's work involves gathering supplies or hunting small animals. All the chores at home are done by Bai Guo alone. Now that Lupia is here, Wang Yin gave her some simple tasks, like adding firewood to the smoking shed, chopping wood, and cleaning weeds and stones outside the cave. For more complicated tasks, he didn't plan to give her because he was afraid she might mess up. Now, the house is returning to a steady development stage. Wang Yin can relax and process the things he bought from Unju City. The items he bought are mostly tools. Wang Yin plans to take out most of them, leaving only a few necessary ones in the storage. The rest will be stored in a wooden box. At this moment, he suddenly remembered there was something in the shop that he could use. With a thought, he found that item and took it out. Beginner Space Box, 500 points. This item has been available in the shop since Wang Yan's early days. It looks like a storage box, so Wang Yin didn't pay much attention to it. However, now he needs a container for his tools, so he remembered this item and casually exchanged it. After spending the points, the space box quickly appeared before him. It looks like a wooden box 1 meter on each side. Since it's a product of the system, it doesn't follow normal logic. The storage principle is that when opened, a screen appears in front of you, showing the items stored inside. It's simple and convenient. Wang Yin studied it for a while and found that this storage item might be very useful. In terms of storage, it's similar to the system's warehouse. A small wooden box can hold up to 10 kilograms of items, regardless of type. But the system space box has another special feature: growth. A beginner space box can be upgraded to a mid-level for 3,000 points, to a high level for 8,000 points, and to a top level for 15,000 points. The size remains the same, always a 1 meter cube. It can also be customized with special features. For example, Wang Yin saw 2 types: a time-free space box and a refrigeration space box. These are things he has always dreamed of having. His system warehouse doesn't have a food preservation function, or he wouldn't need to go through the trouble of smoking and pickling food to store it. Thinking of this made him a bit frustrated. He didn't expect to find such options here. In simple terms, it's a bit like the delicate storage mod in Minecraft, but simpler. This small item costing only 500 points could almost be considered a separate system on its own. However, Wang Yin has always been a bit unclear about his system's purpose. The main goal seems to be unlocking the Beast-Eared Girl's catalog, but it also has many functions, like a shop, farmland, and warehouse. These are probably just different modules of his main system. Speaking of which, with this space box, Wang Yin spent half a day making a wooden table using carpentry tools. Relying on his memory from Earth, he built a table 4 meters long, 2 meters wide, and 1 meter 4 tall. He placed the space box on it, so this would be his workbench from now on. Regarding food research, Wang Yin didn't fall behind. He went to Unju City and bought spices and unlocked more than 10 types of vegetables. He also unlocked a special item: milk, 300 points per liter. Unlocking a cow for milk makes sense, right? Thinking of this, Wang Yin couldn't help but recall Mou's gentle and kind face, and, ahem, a kind older sister is always lovely, isn't she? Shaking his head to stop thinking about those things, Wang Yin directly exchanged for 1 liter of milk. It was in a plastic container designed to prevent waste, which would automatically disappear after use or 24 hours. This milk was very different from what he bought at supermarkets on Earth. It was sterile and free of preservatives, but not very durable. Wang Yin picked up the milk container and took a sip. The flavor was rich and pure, with no strange taste. As he had mentioned before, foods from the East and West on Earth are completely different. Now that Wang Yin had unlocked soybeans and milk, his family's meals would soon see a big improvement. Oh no, the data looks so bad. Dear readers, please review my work. I feel like I can't go on like this. This life is so hard. Degree. Actually, Wang Yin initially wanted to make some tofu, but first he needed to grind soybeans into soy milk. That was a bit troublesome because it required a stone mill. Although Wang Yin knew how to carve a stone mill, it would take too much time. It might be easier to buy one directly. So, he decided to process the milk first. Milk is quite convenient. Wang Yin exchanged for 10 liters, filling a large bucket. He just needed to cover it and leave it in a warm, ventilated place to let it settle. He hoped it would naturally ferment into yogurt. If it worked, he could use this yogurt as a starter to make more and more yogurt in the future. Spring has arrived, and Wang Yin originally planned to go out into the wild to find herbs. But after thinking it over, he decided that solving the salt issue first was more important. I previously received a map of the Rock Sheep tribe settlement from Lingdang. However, the journey is long, and even with the Cayenne shark, it takes about 10 days round trip. Before leaving, I must ensure the little beast girls are well taken care of. So, Over the next few days, Wang Yin and Xiao Ji built an outdoor storage in the cave, piling up all the vegetables produced by the system. Seeing the storage full, Wang Yin nodded with satisfaction. Now, there should be enough food for his family. For several days, Wang Yin kept preparing food for the little beast girls. Maybe he even forgot that before he arrived, they all lived well without him. Perhaps they were just afraid of starving. During these days, Wang Yin also fermented milk, but it wasn't easy. The first few attempts failed, but luckily, he succeeded once. He gradually learned the right method. As for how to check if the yogurt is good, isn't there already a level D person to do that? After making yogurt, it can be further processed to separate butter and buttermilk. But Wang Yin didn't plan to continue. He just wanted to try making yogurt to see if it was possible. If he wanted to produce a large amount, relying only on the system exchange would be too costly. Unless he found a livestock that produces milk, he wasn't willing to spend points on it. Once the food was prepared, Wang Yin felt at ease and was ready to set out to find the rock sheep tribe. Zhuohua gently held Wang Yin's hand. She knew he was a bit worried about them. As the lady of the house, she wanted to reassure him. Don't worry too much about us. With me here, aren't you still worried? Wang Yin thought so too. Zhuohua definitely trusted him, but he still wanted to say a few more words. If you encounter any danger, run back home quickly. Let Alu go first. Don't let her go hungry, understand? Zhuohua smiled softly, cupped Wang Yan's face with both hands, and tiptoed to kiss him on the cheek. She replied, Okay, I understand. Go early, come back early. I'll be waiting for you at home. While speaking, Zhuohua leaned close to Wang Yan's ear and whispered in a voice only the two of them could hear, Bring that girl Yuli along. Let's try to come back quickly and eat her up. She winked playfully at Wang Yin, then slowly stepped back, causing him to blush. When he looked away, he saw that Yuli was standing nearby, looking confused and unsure, clearly having been told something by Zhuohua. Wang Yin smiled helplessly but didn't think it was wrong. Actually, he had already shared a close moment with Yuli once before, during the last time he played with Zhuohua in the bath, when she took the initiative to come forward. He waved his hand, feeling that more talking would be annoying. He called out to Yuli, and the two of them mounted the colorful cloud shark, heading straight into the distance. This was the first time Wang Yin had gone far from home since arriving in this world. The map given to him by Xiao Lingdang was hand-drawn, combining pictures and words, and was quite clear in pointing the way. So, Wang Yin just needed to follow the landmarks marked on the map. Thus, under the sunset and clouds, the two hurriedly traveled all day. The colorful cloud shark was very fast, flying close to the walls, with the scenery rushing past in a blur. Only the vast sea of clouds remained constant, changing only in color. As night approached, Wang Yin stopped the cloud shark on the shore. After traveling all day, it was time to rest. He lit a fire and bought 2 cans of canned food from the shop for dinner. But while eating, Wang Yin suddenly thought, since monsters attacked at night, why not just travel at night instead? The more he thought about it, the more he believed this idea was good. He mentioned it to Yoli, because the cloud shark flew close to the walls, and most monsters climbed walls to attack. Traveling at night and resting during the day might actually be safer. Yoli agreed after hearing this, nodding without objection. After dinner, they quickly lay down to rest. The sun had just set, and monsters usually only came out around midnight, so they could sleep a little first and regain some energy. They let the cloud shark go off to hunt and rest. Since they didn't find a cave, Wang Yin found a sheltered spot, covered it with dry grass, laid down a blanket, and cuddled Yoli to sleep. Thanks to Wang Yan's high-quality sleep ability, even if he woke naturally, he could still wake up in the middle of the night. The two didn't do anything special. They just embraced and slept until midnight before waking up. Looking at the bright moon high in the sky, Wang Yin guessed it was almost 12 o'clock. He stretched and called Yuli to wake up, ready to continue their journey. They mounted the cumulus shark again. Just as they started to move, 3 dog-headed monsters with foul odors climbed up. Although these monsters weren't hard to deal with, their terrible smell was very unpleasant. Since avoiding conflict was better, they chose not to fight this time. Both Wang Yin and Yoli had night vision, so traveling at night was not a problem. They moved forward for a while. Wang Yin secretly thought it was easier this way. Moving with the monsters at the same time helped keep them safe. But accidents often happen unexpectedly. The more they tried to follow normal rules, the more their understanding was challenged. Suddenly, a slimy, spring-like tentacle shot out, carrying a foul green slime. Even with the speed of the cumulus shark, it was caught by the tentacle. Their bodies stopped instantly, and due to inertia, they almost fell off. The sudden change made Wang Yin very alarmed, but he quickly calmed down. What danger could there be at this time? Besides those monsters, there was nothing else. Wang Yin hugged Yuli close, stepped on the forehead of the cumulus shark, and leapt down to the ground. He pulled out a broadsword from his storage. His heart sank. It seemed he underestimated the danger of the wall abyss at night. A tough fight was probably coming. Note: the story is a bit stuck. I don't know how to continue. The cumulus shark, a creature very close to a fierce beast, was actually caught by a tentacle. This shows how fierce the monster really is. Honestly, Wang Yin really didn't want to fight these monsters. It's just pointless exhaustion. Killing them wouldn't bring any reward, and their meat was highly toxic. He would rather turn and run away than fight. But right now, it seemed this cursed thing had entangled him, forcing Wang Yin to face this disgusting monster. The monster's target didn't seem to be the colorful shark. When Wang Yin and the others dodged, its sticky tentacles released the fish tail. It appeared to be climbing on the wall, but it was unclear what exactly it was. Goo goo, goo. A strange sound like drumbeats echoed, and a familiar rotten smell filled the air. A large, pale hand, as white as a corpse, rested on the edge of the cliff. The hand was huge, with each finger as thick as a human calf. Wang Yin stayed calm and drew his broadsword to defend himself. As the strange figure kept rising, its appearance finally became clear. The creature looked humanoid but had no features that looked human. Its white skin was dead-looking, and its two giant claws were just bones covered in skin. Its big head alone was enough to make people feel sick. Its teeth didn't have an upper and lower set like normal. Instead, they formed circles, like a mouth that couldn't close, resembling a meat grinder, making a goo-goo sound. What was most disturbing was its long, thick tongue, covered in slimy, foul-smelling mucus. The tongue kept opening and closing, like barbs. Wang Yin finally understood what the tentacle holding the fishtail was. He calmed down and turned to Yuli and asked, "Are you scared, Yuli?" Yuli's face showed little emotion. She simply pulled out her iron spear from her back, standing proud like a brave female warrior. "I'm not scared." She had brought her shield belt this time, which made her feel safer. Wang Yin didn't waste time and decided to kill the beast first. He raised his broadsword. Wang Yin was tough and aggressive, so he took the lead. The long-tongued monster wasn't willing to back down. Its tongue, like a spear, aimed straight at Wang Yin's face, as if challenging him. Since they were going to fight head-on, Wang Yin decided to test it. He grabbed the sword with both hands, suddenly swung it up, and made a full-moon slash, as if intending to cut the tongue in half. But Wang Yin underestimated how flexible the monster's tongue was. When he swung, the tongue easily absorbed the attack. It even wrapped around his wrist, moving quickly. In that instant, Wang Yin's arm almost got torn apart by the giant tongue. Yuli clearly wouldn't just stand there foolishly. Instead, she understood her role well. Her strength was a bit less than Wang Yin's, so she focused on supporting. She moved behind the monster and stabbed 3 times into its ribs, then quickly retreated, never trying to get a final. Although the monster's bones were as hard as iron and her spear wouldn't cause serious damage, one of her shots went through in the bones and hit its internal organs, making the monster scream in pain. This gave Wang Yin a chance to free himself. He was very pleased with Yuli's cooperation. He charged forward again. If the tongue was no good, then the neck should work, right? Unfortunately, the monster was smart enough not to be fooled like a simple creature. When it sensed Wang Yin's fierce attack, it quickly dodged, giving him no chance to strike. So, Wang Yin and Yuli kept working together smoothly. Wang Yin used a broadsword to attack, while Yuli held her spear ready to strike at any moment. If Wang Yin's attack was caught by the tongue, Yuli would stab at the monster's vital spot from behind. Over time, even though both of them were hit a few times, Wang Yin healed quickly, and Yuli's shield belt protected her. After several rounds, the monster's injuries worsened, and it looked like it was struggling to survive. Wang Yin took a deep breath. Even though the foul smell lingered, the monster's flesh and bones were as tough as metal or stone. Cutting into it felt like hitting iron. His hands started to shake slightly from the repeated shocks, and it was clear he needed to end the fight quickly. The long-tongued monster roared in pain. When it saw Wang Yin preparing a deadly strike, it started to scream and even showed signs of fear. Wang Yin ignored this. He saw an opportunity to finish it off. His health bar was already more than half gone. If he didn't act now, when would he? He leaped forward with his broadsword, aiming for the monster's neck. But just as he jumped, he suddenly saw the monster's face showing a very human-like mocking expression. Wait! The monster suddenly turned around. Its huge claws, like heavy hydraulic presses, shot straight at Yuli, ignoring Wang Yan's attack. It seemed willing to risk its life to attack her. Wang Yan never expected this monster to be so clever. Since it was facing away from him, his strike missed. Instead, he cut a deep wound into its back, exposing bones and breaking fragments. Yet, the long-tongued monster seemed to feel no pain and ignored the injury. It kept attacking Yuli with fierce strikes and stabbing motions, as if it had targeted her and refused to let go. Yuli was overwhelmed by the monster's fierce attacks. Her shield belt blocked most of the hits, but Dilia had warned her that the shield belt had an energy battery. After the last fight with the white-armed tiger and this new attack, the belt's energy was running low. Suddenly, a cracking sound like eggshells breaking filled the air. Wang Yin was shocked. His shield was shattered. "Retreat now," he shouted loudly. But it was probably too late. How could Yuli's agility compare to the flying spear-like tongue? Wang Yin clenched his teeth and lunged forward, riding on the back of the beast to avoid its tongue whip. He grabbed its mouth corners, tearing at the monster's lips, his fingers bleeding from the sharp teeth. "Run!" Yuli was momentarily stunned, but didn't try to fight on. She bit her lower lip tighter. Wang Yan's mind moved, and that Siloan shark flew out of the clouds again, quickly grabbing Yuli and carrying her away from the danger zone. Only then did Wang Yan feel relieved enough to focus on fighting the long-tongued monster. "Come on, just you and me." Without his helper, Wang Yan's fighting ability clearly dropped. Although he had healing powers, the hunger grew stronger, constantly gnawing at his body and mind. In the end, Wang Yan managed to cut the long-tongued monster's neck after his left shoulder was pierced. The monster fell heavily to the ground, unable to get up. He pulled the long tongue out of his shoulder, tearing out bloody flesh. Wang Yan couldn't help but grunt. That cursed thing, even in death, still managed to disgust him. Unexpectedly, the fallen strange beast's corpse emitted a purple-black glow after death. Wang Yan's heart immediately sounded the alarm. He quickly raised his sword and stepped back, but the light only flickered briefly before shattering like broken glass, transforming into a gentle greenish-blue hue. Yes, the glow shattered. The greenish-blue light slowly gathered into a small point of light. Once formed, it flew straight toward Wang Yan's forehead. Even though he tried to raise his hand to block it, the tiny light seemed to pass through without resistance, entering his mind. Received Basic Purification Seed 1. Basic Purification Seed? Wang Yin was shocked. He realized this tiny light was a reward from the system. He hadn't expected that after killing the beast, it would drop a purification seed. This made him wonder why no other beast drops it. Could it be because his level isn't high enough? The purification seed floated quietly in Wang Yan's mind, not stored in his inventory, and there was no description of it. Wang Yin was very confused. What exactly is this thing for? After thinking for a while and not understanding its purpose, Wang Yin decided not to worry. It didn't seem dangerous. Instead, when he focused his mind on it, he felt a deep sense of peace. So he chose to ignore it. He had sustained serious injuries in this fight and needed to find a place to rest quickly. He whistled at the colorful cloud shark and, with one arm around Yoli's waist, continued forward. Yoli looked at the bloodstain on Wang Yan's shoulder and immediately burst into tears. She couldn't do anything to help, so she bit her lip hard to stop herself from crying out loud. "It's all my fault. I'm so useless. I'm too weak. If only I were stronger, with more strength. How could Wang Yin get hurt?" Wang Yin looked at his wife, biting her lip, and couldn't help but smile helplessly. She was overthinking again. He gently raised his hand and pinched the corners of Yoli's lips, making her loosen her mouth. Sitting behind her, Wang Yin smiled and said, "All right, stop biting your lips. If they swell, it won't look good, you know." Yoli didn't reply, only trembling slightly. Now Wang Yin no longer dared to walk close to the edge of the cliff. These strange beasts even had special anti-air defenses. He wondered why the traveling merchants also moved only during the day. This time, he learned his lesson. Some things can be understood after just one try. The long-tongued monster was probably not the attacking type, but a stationary hunter. There might be even stronger monsters hiding on the walls, he thought. Wang Yin rode his colorful cloud shark close to the ground, constantly watching the cliff wall, looking for a cave to rest and repair. Soon, he found a cave about 20 meters above the ground. It was a hidden spot, so he guided his cloud shark to land there. The cave was quite spacious, enough for 2 people. Wang Yin took out some bedding for Yuli to lay out. He then tore off his shirt, which was made of polyester fibers from his system. It wasn't very comfortable, but he liked this outfit. Sadly, it was torn and no longer wearable. By now, some time had passed since the fight ended. Wang Yin noticed the blood hole on his shoulder was healing. It had shrunk from the size of a fist to that of a ping-pong ball. It wouldn't be long before it fully healed. This was thanks to 2 skills, rapid blood clotting and dragon descendant. Rapid blood clotting stopped bleeding instantly. Dragon Descendant gave him great strength, protection, and an incredible healing speed. Except for severed limbs, most injuries could heal as fast as fire blossoms. Leaning against the rock wall, Wang Yin let out a deep breath, feeling relaxed. Then, a wave of hunger hit him. Without hesitation, he took out canned fruit, beef, milk, and pure water. He looked like a starving ghost reborn. Seeing this, Yuli felt a pang of sympathy. She stepped closer and lowered her head, saying, "Let me feed you." One hand isn't very convenient. Wang Yin was slightly surprised, but then suddenly smiled. "All right, wife, feed me." Honestly, even Wang Yin wasn't sure when his relationship with Yuli became so close. Was it during the hunt for the white-armed tiger, when their feelings suddenly warmed up? Or was it during the bath with Xiaohua, sharing intimate moments? Wang Yin didn't understand, but he truly liked this little girl, Yuli. Yuli pursed her lips, opened the can, and then took a spoon to feed Wang Yin. Honestly, eating this way was very slow and couldn't make up for her weak body, but Wang Yin was happy. The big snake personally fed him, which was a rare opportunity. Seeing Wang Yin seem a bit happy, with a slight smile in his eyes, Yuli asked confusedly, "Is there something you're happy about?" Wang Yin didn't answer directly. He just shook his head and changed the subject. "When I first came here, your attitude towards me wasn't very good." Yuli remembered how she looked at Wang Yin with a cold face at the very beginning. She couldn't help feeling a bit embarrassed and quickly explained, I just don't have much good feeling towards humans, so." Wang Yin looked at her deeply, took the can from her hand, and said, "Yuli, can you tell me about your childhood?" "My childhood?" Yuli was slightly surprised, seeming reluctant to speak. But looking at Wang Yin, she couldn't refuse, so she lowered her head slowly and avoided his gaze. Wang Yin knew that part of Yuli's personality was shaped by her childhood experiences. No one knew what had happened to her before, and she had never mentioned it to anyone. That's why she was so quiet. Now was a good chance to open her heart. "I was a child," Yuli whispered, her thoughts seeming to drift back to those years from over 10 years ago. "Actually, I am not a true beast human. I was born after my mother was assaulted by a group of people. I am not really from the snake tribe. I don't even know who my biological father is." Yuli's voice was calm as water, but it sounded like she was hiding deep sadness. In her snake-like eyes, there was no longer any sharpness. They looked like a lost child, humble and timid. "I grew up in such an environment. My neck was chained, and right in front of me, my mother was assaulted by that group of people. Luckily, my mother loved me very much and didn't let them hurt me." Later, Yuli's voice stretched out long, and she paused for a long time before continuing. "My mother saw that I was getting older. If things kept going like this, those terrible people would harm me someday. So, that night, my mother bit and killed the person who was attacking her. She took the key from him and escaped with me. But my mother's health wasn't good. She usually ate what was meant for me. She couldn't run away." Yuli finally couldn't hold on anymore. She remembered her childhood, and tears streamed down her face. She cried openly. Wang Yin gently lifted her and held her in his arms. He softly stroked her long hair, saying nothing, just quietly comforting her. Yuli sniffled, hugging Wang Yin tightly. Tears soaked his chest, and her eyelashes trembled slightly. Later, Those people found us. My mother was hurt, but she managed to escape. However, because her injuries were too serious, she never woke up again. I thought my mother was just sleeping, so I stayed by her side, waiting and waiting. But after a long time, she didn't wake up. I was very hungry and wanted to cry, but I didn't dare make a sound, afraid of attracting the people chasing us. You probably know what happened next. I met Sister Zhuohua, who took me in. Without her, I would have died long ago. Yoli's story isn't complicated, but it's filled with darkness and dirt. No wonder she grew up so early. She had such a dark childhood. She had never told anyone about these things before, not even Zhuohua. This was the first time she opened her heart in front of Wang Yan. That's enough. Wang Yan gently kissed her on the forehead and then patted her head. It's all in the past now. Isn't Yuli living a happy life now? We all love you very much. I believe your mother also wanted you to grow up well, right? He spoke softly to comfort her, but Wang Yan wasn't just saying empty words. His chest was already burning with anger, and where Yuli couldn't see, his fists were tightly clenched. When we go back this time, will you take me to find that tribe? Yuli froze for a moment. She understood exactly what Wang Yan meant and what he wanted to do. She quickly shook her head. That tribe is very strong. It's one of the biggest in the lower region. I don't want you to take that risk. Please, do it for me, okay? Wang Yan smiled gently and patted her head. I was just asking. All right, I'll listen to you. I won't go. Since Yuli was worried about him, Wang Yan didn't say more. But he couldn't just let it go. Once they returned, he planned to ask Zhuohua about the major tribes in the lower region. With a bit of checking, he would probably find out which one it was. Wang Yan put one arm around Yuli, and they stayed like that for a while. After sharing her worries, Yuli cried quietly against his chest. When she calmed down, they seemed even closer than before. Yuli's affection 80 seeing the affection level maxed out, Wang Yan couldn't help but smile. He quickly treated his wounds, took 2 painkillers, and soon felt his eyelids grow heavy. Yuli, I'm a bit sleepy. I'll rest for a while. Okay, sleep. I'll keep watch. The strange beasts were highly poisonous. They looked human but were nothing like people, like the dark side of all living things, hating and devouring intelligence itself. It was as if they existed only to hunt beings with wisdom. The barbs on their long tongues carried deadly venom. When one pierced Wang Yan's flesh, the worst part wasn't the wound, but the poison that despised all life. Wang Yan was poisoned. Cold, so cold it reached his bones. In a daze, Wang Yan seemed to return to his old life on Earth, in that small rented room. Was it all just a dream? People your age are already married. Your father and I divorced because you never did anything with your life. I must have done something terrible in a past life to have a useless son like you. I can't go on anymore. It's all your fault. If I die, you'll finally understand how to try harder. Am I really so useless? It's so cold. I'm so sleepy. In Wang Yan's memory, images of blood everywhere appeared. His parents fighting, their heads bleeding, shouting and yelling nonstop. He ran away one spring night. He deleted everyone's contact information. He was too afraid to face that heavy, oppressive life anymore. That night, he first tasted what it meant to be free. But why do I still hear those cruel, suffocating words in my ears? Sorry, sorry, sorry. It's all my fault for being so weak. Don't deny yourself. You're already doing very well. A warm hug tightly embraced Wang Yan in his dark moment, like a gentle sun warming his heart. Even if you don't have special abilities, I will still like you. You are a very caring person. You show kindness in your own way. You are not wrong. You don't need to apologize to anyone. I like you, Wang Yan. If you're cold, hold my hand tightly. His voice was gentle and tender, like sunlight breaking through a sewer, shining on a dirty rat. A drowning person will grasp anything that might save them. Wang Yan's trembling body clung tightly to Yoli's. Their hearts drew closer, each with their own darkness, but they used their own ways to light each other's path. Fortunately, Wang Yan's body was strong enough to withstand the deadly poison. He managed to endure it, though many hallucinations appeared in his mind, bringing back unpleasant memories. His eyelashes fluttered, and his whole body felt as cold as an unmelting ice block. The poison was attacking every nerve in his body. Luckily, Yoli's comfort and warm embrace helped him get through this difficult time. The sun shone gently, and birds chirped. Warm sunlight spilled into the cave. Wang Yan's eyelids twitched slightly before slowly opening his eyes. The scene before me is a peaceful, sleeping face. Yuli's breathing is deep, and she is holding him around the waist, perhaps dreaming about something. Wang Yan's lips curve into a faint smile. He knows everything. He remembers some bad memories. The girl is holding him and saying many things, especially that one sentence. Even without those abilities, she would still like him. Wang Yan leans close to Yuli's ear and whispers softly, "I like you too." Maybe she heard Wang Yan's voice. Yuli frowns and struggles to open her eyes, making soft sounds. It seems she didn't sleep well. She loosens her grip and slowly opens her eyes. At this moment, her mind feels a bit blank. Her eyes focus for a moment and then settle on the figure in front of her. "Wang Yan, you're awake." Seeing Wang Yan safe and sound, the girl's voice is a little lazy, with a sweet, shy tone like a young girlfriend. "What did you just say?" Wang Yan forces a smile and turns his head away. "I won't tell you." "Huh?" But Yuli's face shows a playful smile. She hooks her arms around Wang Yan's neck and says, "If you don't tell me, I already know. I just want to hear you say it again." "All right, then I'll say it again." Wang Yan leans in and kisses her soft, tender lips. After a while, Yuli blushes and feels a bit flustered, her mind going blank. "I said I like you." Hearing him say it directly makes Yuli feel shy. Her snake-like pupils lower, and she dares not look into those intense eyes. I know." Her gaze falls on Wang Yan's strong shoulders. The fierce scar has fully healed, leaving only a faint pink mark. She gently places her hand on it, feeling relieved for Wang Yan. Looking at Wang Yan's bare upper body, Yuli suddenly remembers something Sister Zhuahua told her before. She needs to be close to Wang Yan so she can awaken. Thinking of this, Yuli's face flushes. She and Wang Yan. As she thinks, her hands can't help but reach out and hold him. In this moment, it seems just right. Wang Yan looked at her, who seemed like a ball of fire, and understood her meaning. The girl was eager to act once she saw he was okay. "Okay, then." Wang Yan just patted her head and left a kiss on her forehead, softly saying, "Leave it to me." Love flowed like water. Wang Yan gently moved on top of her. They looked into each other's eyes. Yuli instinctively retracted her scales again. Everything was as beautiful as a spring day, making it hard to look away. Warmth, affection, passion, dreamlike. Even a cold snake could become hot, like glowing charcoal. Her snake eyes had lost their focus. She tightly grasped the pillow with both hands. Wang Yan pressed his hands on her, and their feelings and love filled the air, reaching the horizon. No more words were spoken. The sounds paused. The sun set in the west. It seemed they would stay a little longer. Yuli, feeling sore and tired, had a very rosy face, like a dry seedling after rain. She no longer looked like a snake, but more like a small, obedient cat, snuggling against Wang Yan's chest. For someone who usually seemed cold and distant, breaking down her walls meant she would show her true, unconditional love. Just like Yuli now, who was completely different from her previous coldness. "Are you hungry?" "Yes, but I want to hold you a little longer." "All right then." As expected, Yuli also awakened. Wang Yan opened her status window and carefully checked her details. Yuli's Snake Clan age, 22 favorability, 100 talent, primordial transformation special skills, scaled skin, melee combat, night vision, toxin resistance, resilience. She gained another special skill. Her awakening talent made her resilience very powerful. It could reduce damage by half, greatly increasing her defense. If she put on her scales again now, even without a shield belt, ordinary swords and knives wouldn't be able to hurt her. And this primordial transformation. "Yuli, what exactly is this ability?" Yuli lowered her head. Since she sensed her ability, she roughly understood it. It's a shape-shifting power. Honestly, she didn't really want to show it in front of Wang Yan, because she felt it was too ugly. It's transforming directly into the most primitive beast form. "I don't really like this ability." "Primitive beast form?" Wang Yan looked confused. Could it mean transforming into a big snake? "Then hurry up and change so I can see." Transforming into a huge, fierce beast sounds pretty cool, right? Wang Yan thought this, with a sense of eagerness. Yuli didn't expect him to be so eager to see, so she didn't say much. She just sighed, then slowly stood up and moved to the edge of the cave. Then, her hands gradually disappeared, and her legs seemed to merge together, forming a slender snake tail. Her graceful figure stretched out, becoming longer and longer. Although not very elegant, as her form kept changing, a large green python slowly took shape. It didn't look cold and sinister like a typical snake, but rather sharp like a spear. The giant python flicked its tongue. Its body was huge, about 1.5 meters wide at the thickest part. In this small cave, it was a bit cramped. Half of its body coiled around Wang Yan, while the rest of the tail rested outside the cave entrance. Being wrapped by such a big snake would make anyone feel cold and uneasy. But Yuli's snake form didn't give that feeling, mainly because her snake eyes had a hint of human emotion, which made her look less threatening. After transforming into a snake, Yuli couldn't speak. She simply leaned her large triangular snake head close to Wang Yan and gently rubbed his face. Yuli's awakening ability was incredibly powerful. Based on Wang Yan's own feeling, her current form's aura was even more terrifying than a fierce beast. If she really faced one, Wang Yan probably wouldn't need to fight at all. Yuli could easily turn into a giant python to handle it. Yuli's ability could last about 10 minutes, with some time limits, but it didn't affect her much. However, there was a side effect. After returning to her normal form, she would feel exhausted and weak for a while. It was a small side effect. After some minor adventures, Wang Yan learned his lesson and stopped challenging the wall abyss at night. He traveled honestly during the day and found a cave to rest at night. Although it delayed him by a day, it wasn't a big problem. Over the past few days, besides enjoying the scenery along the way, Wang Yan also gradually discovered several human tribes. However, they were too scattered to form any real community, like fierce beasts that could be wiped out easily. There was no intention to approach or trade with them. During these days, the two of them didn't stay idle. After breaking through the last barrier, their hidden story scenes became more intense. Wang Yan personally experienced what it means to have a snake-like grip, which he found quite addictive. So, after about a week of traveling together, they finally reached a sparse vegetation area, following the landmarks on the map. This was the territory of the rock sheep tribe, but Wang Yan wasn't exactly sure where, so he needed to look carefully. They stopped at the shore, and Wang Yan commanded the Tseluan shark to sail into the clouds. Then, he and Yoli jumped down, walking to find traces of the rock sheep tribe. Holding Yoli's hand, Wang Yan noticed that the vegetation here was sparse, resembling a kind of savanna. With careful searching, he believed they could find signs of people. Soon, Wang Yan spotted a figure bending over among the low-hanging grass, gathering something. Anyone active in this area would obviously be part of the tribe. Seeing no other people around, Wang Yan approached directly and greeted the person. Suddenly, he heard a voice shout, which startled Lily so much she almost jumped in fright. It was a beast girl with wheat-colored skin, wearing a patchwork outfit made of various animal skins. The most striking feature was her exaggerated, spiral-shaped sheep horns. Without a doubt, she was from the rock sheep tribe. The moment Wang Yan observed her, he opened her status panel to gather basic information. Lily Vanira, sheep tribe age, 16 favorability, 0 talent, not awakened skills, stubbornness, animal husbandry, endurance, efficient sleep, climbing master, ding, unlocked sheep tribe encyclopedia, passive effect unlocked, endurance. New items unlocked, shop updated. Endurance? Wang Yan almost couldn't hold back a laugh. It sounded a bit funny. In fact, this passive skill is very useful. It can increase a target's basic endurance, helping them run longer during long races or recover stamina faster in battles. Whether in daily life or combat, this skill provides strong support. Of course, it is also useful in certain situations. When the girl from the rock sheep tribe saw that the newcomer was a human, she quickly grabbed her small basket and ran without looking back. What surprised Wang Yan even more was that she was running very close to the wall. This reminded him of videos he saw on Earth. 90 degrees is a wall, 89 degrees is a right? Watching the girl run along the rock wall, Wang Yan had no anger at all. It seemed she was a bit timid, and maybe he had scared her. He helplessly spread his hands, whistled, and quickly led Yoli riding on the Tseluan shark. Since he had already seen her, he could follow her to find her tribe and meet other rock sheep people. Wang Yan didn't dare to chase too closely. He just rode the Tseluan shark from a distance, slowly following her across the sky. After a while, the girl ran along the wall, and Wang Yin finally found the Rock Sheep tribe settlement. The location of the tribe was very well chosen, fitting their style perfectly. It was a hollow in the cliff 30 meters above the ground, with a steep mountain that only the Rock Sheep could easily enter or leave. There was no need to worry about enemies from outside. But this was not a big problem for Wang Yin, because he could fly. As soon as Lily returned to the tribe, she shouted loudly, "Oh no! Oh no! More humans are here!" Her words immediately drew everyone's attention. They looked at her, stopped their work, and someone asked, "Where did you see the humans?" "Just below, where we often dig for roots. They suddenly said hello to me, so I ran away." "Quick, tell the chief. Those humans are here again to steal salt." At that moment, Wang Yan's Siluan shark slowly landed at the edge of the cave. He jumped down quickly, attracting everyone's attention. The place fell silent. Everyone held their breath, staring at the person in front of them in disbelief. Honestly, being watched by so many people made Wang Yin a little uncomfortable. He slowly raised his hand, awkwardly tugging at the corner of his mouth. "Hello? It's humans. Humans are here. Quick, men, get your weapons. Women, hide. Humans, how dare they come to our home? Today, you won't leave easily. Protect the priestess."